Welcome back, one and all, to Dreamworks Dungeons and Dragons. I'm your Dungeon Master, August Schmid, and with me, of course, are you guys. Don't have a party name yet. We just start chill. We're having fun. But of course, we have, in no particular order, let's start over here. We have Lonnie playing Nana, Mason playing Moses, Marissa playing Hunk, Nick playing Bob the Tomato, Megan playing Tulio, and Hannah playing Elizabeth. Last we saw the party, you all were headed into Egypt when, after a run-in with Ramses, who was able to kill Moses and bring him back to life 7 times, you were taken off to a special prison where inside Moses, Tulio, and Bob, you learned that a magical artifact was being ground down and turned, included with some lacquer and oils, into a type of paint, for lack of a better word. What you learned, of course, Nana, the shard that you were looking for, is in Ramses' sword, stuck in by some magical means. You met up with Moses' literal brother, Aaron, down in the underground, who had been there for months, and explained more about the circumstances of the Hebrews being recaptured by the Egyptians and taken here. And indeed, you were able to deduce and start to assume that indeed this special artifact is making the city not only hydrophobic and able to stand upon the water, but eventually, given enough time, indeed the city itself could be anti-magic completely. Once this had been more or less confirmed, you all decided upon escaping after successfully breaking out of the prison. Everyone in their states of bedragglement, running as fast as they could, were found by 3 hooded figures, Hunk and Elizabeth, taking that more initiative, running up and knocking down one of these prisoners to take for yourselves, to take as prisoner, I should say. The other 2 then making a quick judgment call, used a precious spell, and the other ran up and quote-unquote captured Moses in that grapple check. Moses, as revealing himself as Joshua, has commanded you to come with them. That's where we're going to begin, right here, right now, in this moment of the city. There are alarm bells starting to ring somewhere in the distance as people are becoming frantic. As Joshua looks you in the eyes, Moses, come with us.
Seems like we have much of a choice. Lead on.
Does anybody in the city not hate you?
Apparently not!
Why would you bring us here? Why would you not warn us?
Joshua grabs you. You see, he's gonna do like kind of that like act of trust. He's gonna let you go. He's not gonna like just carry you the whole time like a grapple. He lets you go, but you see he is just intently focused on you, and just starts running again with that haste, blinding speed back to the others. As he zips back, the 3rd hooded figure pulls down. You see a small Hebrew man, very young looking, reveals himself. Joshua, we don't have much time, and that was the last crystal I had. And you see, have faith, Malachi, we shall get out of the city safely. We just need a ship.
You don't have to.
Tulio, you are on board a ship. Do you want to give me a quick investigation check on the ship to see how long it would take to get it up and running, so to speak?
Yes, I can do that.
Yeah, we're gonna bring in real-world facts of like, listen, ships need weeks. Yes, you can. We are out of this initiative right now, so that you guys have. That's a natural 20. I'll give you, Tulio, this is a ship sent from God, to use the expression. It has everything you need. It could be manned with a crew of 4 to 5, but it could hold up to like 20 to 30. You think like, oh, that means this could hold like our camel sled and camels. You just need people to run it.
Guys, I just kind of like point over my shoulder at the boat I'm standing in. Oh,
Joshua.
I'd rather go on a boat.
yes.
As you call for Joshua, Joshua comes over to Elizabeth and Hunt. May I please have her?
No.
And as he says her, you indeed both look. The figure you're holding is more feminine-like, as he just...
We can carry her on the boat with us.
If you wish us to get you out of the city, you will give her back.
Just hand over the body.
Give her to Joshua.
Don't be a dick.
Hey!
You're saying that too.
Just a general Tulio note of, hey, no, okay.
Life lessons from Tulio.
It's like nobody's actively killing us. Why would we like kidnap this lady?
In insurance if you want it, but you see, as Joshua takes that, brings this
Joshua's
woman,
just a little scary.
immediately turns. He's gonna have a second thought, thinks better of it, runs and jumps on the boat. Is anyone else doing anything before getting on the boat?
I think I'm already on the boat.
Yeah, you
We're
are.
here now.
I'm just hopping along with them.
Excellent.
Are there other ships close by?
There are other ships indeed. This is a bigger section of the port with like
You want more?
large stuff
You want
where
more?
people could like sail from.
Are you ready for this?
I
I
don't
love
want
that he
to
grabbed
make
your
like a
hand.
huge scene.
Yeah,
because
I
they're gonna
was
come right
wondering
after
if
us.
they're tied fairly loosely, then I'd like to just kind of move one of the ships to kind of be between the two areas so that it's less immediately noticeable that a ship is gone.
Gotcha.
Oh, you could try to like 2 ships that way. It's even more or less.
I will
Yeah,
say
but I
that's
don't
really
know
good.
if
What
I'm
it would be is, I'll let you know, Tulio, again, on a nat 20, I'll honor this. This ship is
You want more?
perfect. I am
More?
going to need at least 4 successful sleight of hand checks.
Yeah.
And if you make one and succeed or don't succeed, just make that one because this will determine how much time it's taking to like get the ship
So we're
out
all
of
doing
port.
sleight of hand.
All doing sleight of hand. If you want to move ships, that's going to require a further 4 checks
it
to
be
like
athletics?
scoot to. Unfortunately, would not be athletics because most of it is knots right now. It's I need to unknot the 2 ships to the side, and while we pull out, can we like pull this one in?
It almost
That's an
also
11 from me on sleight of hand.
just like cuts the
12.
flooring lines.
11, 12.
21.
Yeah.
21's really good.
Sorry.
Sorry, give me a second. D&D.
19.
19,
Woo! 18!
18,
Say hi to Megan.
18, 19,
Sorry.
21. If you say DC 14, it's a little more difficult just because, again, these are Mariner's knots. But that is 3 successes as Moses, Nana, Bob the Tomato, you are all running along, quickly pulling lines, grabbing stuff, making sure anything that could be connected. I'm going to allow Joshua and his friend can make 2 checks for you guys.
One more?
What checks on this?
Sleight of hands. Do help you
Okay,
guys.
I
Here.
didn't know if they were doing something sneaky.
Yeah.
Okay.
Joshua did get a synthetic 10. Same with the third figure. They're going through, and again, you're realizing that while these seem to be proficient, like maybe fighters and stealthing around, they're not great at knots. 3 of the knots are down. I now have to make a luck check. We just don't want a 7 or lower right now. That is a 6. As you guys are going, the last of the ropes are on your ship. It's getting close. But I will say going off of... Who's got the highest passive perception? Let me check my
He's,
notes.
like, obsessed with muffins.
It's okay, I just have to steal another.
I'm going to say...
That's weird. He like ate half your muffin.
Really? Oh, weird. Anyway, the highest passive perception is Bob the Tomato with an 18.
Unsurprised.
Bob, as you're sitting, and I think it's that very much, you have a natural advantage. You are on Moses' shoulder. Like, you're able to, like, look out. As everyone else is untied the knot, and you're offering that, like, no, out of the, grabbing here, but, like, through the bunny's left foot is how you untie it. Well, okay, no, this one you actually need to take the parrot and double loop the neck, and then pull the string.
Why
And,
are you
like,
so violent?
right, and
I
Bob,
like
yeah.
the character with no hands is really good at knots.
Exactly. That's what I love about this. Is the
Yes.
21 is like, oh, I got this.
Although, is he like, are we playing him like the DM Veggie Tales where they can hold things like hovering, but there's no arm?
Exactly. And yet, when you don't have arms, it's that like when it's a crucially arm important task, they always then make it this canon of like, but I don't have hands. It's like what?
Wait, so do all the veggies in VeggieTales just canonically have mage hand? That's invisible?
Basically,
Like that's a racial
But-
feature?
And he
it's
has
but then
mage hand?
some
If he
things where
has
like
some feature?
imagine where it's like you have mage hand, but you're never allowed to make a sleight of hand check. It's really weird rules. I don't get the VeggieTales sometimes. What I will say though, Bob, looking out across, you see there are multiple platoons of guards that are rushing towards your port. You think they've seen you.
Okay. Well, guys, I think you're leaving that spot. Oh no.
Choo, 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 choo. The soft beat of metal and sandal echoes through the city as
Why don't we just like slash the rope instead of untying it? Can we just cut it?
You can. It just means you won't have it to help you in the future.
We
Like
have
with
rope. We each have rope. Let's just do
Well,
one.
probably still either way take an action though, right?
It'll still take an action.
So we may as well take time to try to
Yeah.
find.
All right.
Because again, like the only way I rolled below that DC is I rolled an at 2.
Wow.
That's true.
That's amazing. You got an 11 with a nat 2. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Okay, then
Alright.
I guess let's go.
All right. We only need one more sleight of hand, and again, if you want to, we could get. If we get 4 other successes, it would cover your tracks.
Can
Like
we
they
just
would not
all
know what.
roll again?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm gonna try rolling with.
That's a nat 13 plus 1.
I got 21.
Nice.
That's a nat 1.
Nat 13 plus 1, so it means
It's the very
DC of
beginning.
14.
Everyone's pulling out, and Elizabeth, you just find yourself in something like, how am I just like perfectly tied up? This
I
is
need
like not fair.
claws. Where are my claws?
What'd you get, Hum? 8. Bob the Tomato, what did you get? 20.
13.
13, just barely.
I got a 14 with a nat 13.
14, 20. That is one success to get you over. Nana, you rush over, and as Moses Bob the Tomato, you are flicking the last rope, realizing the ship is loose. Nana, turning, you start pulling one of the ropes. I'll allow you to make me a perception check real quick.
Oh no! William, I'm not good at perception. Let's see what happens. That was almost a nat 20! I just saw it! It's a natural 2 plus 3 for a 5. It was on the nat 20 and then it wiggled.
You, I will say, you see the name of the ship. It's called the Sea Serenade, and you're just like pulling it, and you have that moment of like, oh, this is a name ship. Dang it, someone's gonna notice.
If
Like,
this is the freaking Pharaoh ship, we are screwed.
oh, do you think I would give you the Pharaoh ship on a natural 20? The best ship in the possible that you could have stolen?
Oh, I have a bad
Hey,
feeling.
I'm gonna do a
We
history
should
check, see if
run.
I recognize
As you guys are pulling out of port,
Probably
the
tricked out. Like we probably have.
We should run.
I will
we
say-
stole Ramses'
21
ship.
history.
21. Moses, you will know this. The Sea Serenade, your brother's prize ship since he was 12.
Oh no!
This was Ramses' gift from your mother when he was 12.
I think we run it when we're done.
Burn it with Let's burn it to the ground. Tulio,
Julio's like, we need a ship that serves its purpose. I don't care.
You know, we get to
Um,
be petty and take a ship.
to be ready.
He killed me 7 times.
Two birds, one
But
stone.
I'm just like, we should run. Like, go.
As you're all rushing, the
Thank you
guards
for
are
letting us
rushing
know
up, but
that.
again, the ship is coming up. But again, due to the fact that the guards were close on your tail, you were not able to cover up the tracks,
And
and
it's
you
the
naturally.
Pharaoh's ship.
They know where you are.
Okay, this is like a trap.
You're not sure.
Can we like do something to make sure it's not giving off like a trap?
I should say we waited till we're out on the water outside of the guards' range.
Do you
Indeed.
really need me to help you sail this ship?
What I will say is, yes,
I can go check it.
Joshua and the other one are sitting there with their third companion, and he just looks up. None of you can sail.
I can drive a wagon. The ship isn't any different. I'm gonna try.
You can make me. This is dexterity, no proficiency at all.
I know. Oh no.
There is a specific proficiency for water vehicles.
This sounds
Oh, I know.
bad, but we're already kind of like.
That's a
getting-
nat 13 again. Plus 1.
We're already kind of like getting away from port into the river, right?
Mhm.
And there's a bunch of like boats and we don't want people following us. Could I like shoot fire arrows at the boats or something to like make it harder for them to just commandeer about?
Or
us
shoot
on
it at the
Does that make
rope.
sense? Like,
Attacking.
Oilcloth sails. The oil in the cloth.
It's true. Using a bit of
Or, like, any
smart. Take a point of
explosive
inspiration. That's some cool
gear.
knowledge.
That
I'm
was
like,
really
yo,
clever.
I haven't thought about that since like I was 10 and like had the Egyptology book. I'm like, that's awesome. I will say for sure, if you and anyone else who has ranged crossbow weapons wants to start snapping some flint and steel together, lighting some fire, and shooting the boats, I will give you this. We'll come to Nana as you are sailing. On a nat 13, I'll give you a choice. You know, kind of based on the map I sent, there's 2 ways out of the city. There's through the main gates, past the 2 sphinxes of Seti and Ramses, or there is the other way, which takes you through like the shipyard, so to speak. both sides have like gates and stuff, but the main gate is where all the big stuff comes in. Any fishers, any merchants, any guards.
I would say we want to take the other gate, not the main one,
Alright.
because the main gate is where there's going to be higher security, I think.
Hey,
So-
August, my history check. So you can't tell me as close as they were that Moses and Ramses did go out on this boat together.
Oh yeah, no, for
Can
sure.
that history check also be to help Nana out?
I will allow it. I will allow it. I will say what it will be is you both will be at the helm of, so to speak. It's Nana is driving, but again, most of you are like, I've been on this ship at
Yeah, so I'm like
least half a dozen
working the
times.
rigging
Like,
and all that.
Right.
But also not the same as Reigns.
what I will then say is, as you two will be on, important to note, having made this choice, Nana, you swing the ship and watch as you all, hard to port, start sailing down off to what we know as the east bank of the Nile. This is smart because you will not have many dangers here, but it is a tougher time because, again, there's just going to be more. It's going to be
That's
harder
right.
to maneuver. You just need to... That's 3 rounds that we need to have successes on.
And he's helping me
Um,
on
I have plus 1 on dex.
I have a +2 on dex.
I have +3.
Hey, Julio.
have
You
plus
want
2
to
for dex.
trade spots?
Tulio, you could do great on the water, right?
I've been on boats.
Oh,
That's
excellent.
fair.
I have
That's
not.
fair.
I don't think I like boats.
Quick raise of hands in real life. In real life, who's ever been on a boat?
Like,
Who's been on a boat in real life? Oh, cool.
Oh, in
Well, a
real
couple,
life?
it'd be
Yeah.
cool people. Now
My
raise your
dad
hand if you
actually
know
has-
how to drive a
My
boat
dad
in
has
real
a
life, having been on a
sailor's-
boat.
has a captain's license.
It's
to
more
drive
the
sailboats.
comedy for me of Tulio. I've been on a boat. Yeah, there's no proficiency
You
for
realize I said
Tulio.
that deliberately, though.
I
right?
know.
I'm like in the roleplay. Yeah, I've been on a boat.
But my dad has actually taught me how to drive boats. I
In
know
which
how to
case,
do that.
I will say if Tulio's going to be driving, Moses, you're the only one really allowed to give a help action for the
That's fair.
specific boat for the drive. We just need to be passing, and incrementally it goes basically DC 10, 14, 18. Because it is the hardest, because at the very edge of the port in the ship docks, there's just so much here. But for everyone else, you can either do things to help lower the DCs each round. This needs to happen before the check is made by Tulio. Or, like Tulio's initial plan, if people take bows, crossbows, and fire and just starts like lighting up stuff as you go, that can also help you, of course, in the long run.
I'm going to hand Hunk my half-finished bottle of vodka to coat the arrows in it so that they will stay on fire a little bit easier. And then,
Or if you want to
these
shoot
kind
the
of
whole-
boats,
Yeah.
they should have some long poles, kind of like gondola style, because there are parts of the Nile where it's quite shallow.
Exactly.
So to help push the boat along. Can we use those poles to push other boats further out of the way of the direction we're going?
Yes, that is exactly what I mean by like, yeah, it's very much I'm allowing this to be a skill contest of your choice. Be like, I'm going to use athletics to push a boat, or I'm going to use my natural attack to shoot my Bayard. It's you can tell me what you want, and then I'll allow to see like, yeah, let's see how that's going to help
Cool.
setting the DCs
so we
there.
don't have to do the same thing as the party.
Exactly. You don't have to be like, great, I suck at sleight of hand, but I guess we have to right now. This is very much there's a lot people can do. So, before Tulio makes the check, what are things people want to try to do to either lower the DC or attack boats?
What exactly am I going to be rolling?
It's a dexterity check.
Oh, just dex check, not even a dex save right here.
And he's got the help action.
I have to really
Constant help action because you know the boat.
But I know that you're good at shooting things.
I don't have anything
to
to
help whatever
weapon-wise to shoot anything, so
that
I'm just
it
gonna
can
help
help
in any way that
set the sails on fire a little bit.
I can to get the ship going. So
Gotcha.
my highest is strength.
If you don't want
If
to
you
say-
want,
yeah,
you
no,
could
no,
be
get
making
set.
then just a natural, not to like push boats, but like you're gonna be like on the I'm using a strength check to just help move the boat. Very much. Well, think like, hey, I'm gonna row, or I'll man the oars, or stuff like that, where it's like,
Yeah.
So
That's
go ahead,
totally cool with me.
make we'll call it athletics check.
Okay.
Bob's Tomato Hunk Nana. Check you go.
Athletics and push boats out of the way.
Athletics to push boats out of the way, make like lower that DC.
Oh, come on. Oh, that's a 15. I thought that, look at that. Look how hard that is. I thought that was a 5, but they say 15 and I'm not going to argue.
Is there like
10.
cannons
William.
or anything on this ship?
There are not cannons on the ship.
Oh, that's true.
This is more of
William,
a.
you want to
It's
share
more like
another
a
muffin
raft
with
with
me?
some sides.
It's a nicer yacht, so to speak, too. Like, it is, again, the nicest one here, but it's definitely not, like, terribly tricked out.
Okay, August, I got a 10 for
A 10. Okay, that's gonna be good.
It stands for nap time.
I got a 22 on athletics.
Nap time, William.
Nap time. Oh, never mind. We have a muffin later, dude.
Can I go 2 athletics to push boats out of the way? I don't have anything flame-ish, so...
I love it. Yeah, go for it. Nana, are you doing the same thing, like an athletics check
Yep.
push? What'd you get? 22. Wow. And
Oh,
finally, Hunk, did you want to either shoot the boats, push the boats? What do you want to
I
do?
do want to shoot them.
I have a
I'm
+1.
wondering if I can
got a
take,
nat 20.
oh, this is like a cloth soaked in vodka, throw it and shoot it onto a boat.
Oh.
I don't know if that's a thing. Or
All
if
right.
it's
Is your
not thing
Bayard
that
a gun?
works.
I don't even know what.
I was trying to look up how the mechanics of it just now. And
What is
Fun
the
fact.
Bayard?
The Bayard runs on a form of,
like
for lack of a better word, photon energy.
So is it a laser gun, basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that means it's not as
Force.
burning as it is, because it's more of that, like,
Yeah.
it's a very, very, very
You're right.
hot, light, forceful
Okay, then
shot
I'll
that...
just shoot my Bayard. That
Yeah.
probably makes more
Okay.
sense.
Sorry, I thought your Bayard was some sort of fancy name for a boat.
No, you're good. It's like confusing, and I was trying to look up and see what the
Gatling
mechanics
gun.
of it. Yeah.
Gatling guns,
Yes.
shoot.
Yep.
All right, Hunk,
Looks like the heavy artillery.
I see.
you're trying to make a bomb.
Yes.
I'm just trying to make a bomb.
Go ahead. I would like you to make me, using your dexterity, a explosives check.
Uh-oh.
You don't have proficiency, so it's just gonna be your dexterity. That's gonna allow us to know what you need to do to like hit it to make it explode. What'd you get? That's a nat 1. Cool. This is gonna be a DC, or excuse me, an AC of 30 to shoot the bottle and have it explode to alight the ships.
If you get to that 20,
If you get
will
nat
allow
20,
that?
of course I'll allow it.
I mean, she did just roll the 1, so it's 20 could be
You just
done.
rolled a 1. Yeah, I mean, that is how
That's how it
statistics work.
works.
Oh, I would laugh if it's a 1 twice. 7. I will let you know, Hunk, of course you're going to shoot the bottle. Bottles have ridiculously low ACs. That AC is more just the AC of, like, shooting it, to ignite it, to spread it. Hunk, you go and just, like, put it in, and it's that cool, very Rambo, like, sweat and dirt on the face. Rip the thread, throw the bottle, grab the Bayard. Ah, boom, 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 boom. And as that slow-mo, it hits the bottle and just shatters into the Nile.
She's gonna be so mad that I wasted
And just,
vodka.
it just, you just want, yeah, glass
A little more
and glass and
than
alcohol just right into the Nile, kind of pitter-patter. You're just like, where's the explosion? But with some insane, so Bob Smith, what'd you get for your athletics?
Nat
That was
20.
really sad.
Natural 20? Oh my gosh.
Dang!
I didn't
Okay.
only have a +1, so I was not expecting
Here we
to
go
succeed,
with the
but-
10 nat 20 and 21.
22.
22, thank you. Insane checks from our first group on this first round. You guys start pushing. So Elizabeth, Bob, and Nana are just shoving ships out of the way. Literally just that, like, nope, 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 just pushing things out of the way, clearing a path. Tulio, that will make this, it's a DC 2 check right now.
Okay.
Because
I feel like my
lowered
respect
twice,
for tomatoes
makes it a
just
DC
rising
2.
every session.
Do I have to roll?
Please do. I mean, if it's not 1, something funny will
If
happen.
it's a critical success, then...
Critical success or failure, something fun will happen.
That's a 16. Like, came with the thermos thing I got from D&D.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You guys, Tulio starts rocketing down across the ports.
Oh, actually, here's an important question. Are we in initiative?
It's a loose initiative. It's almost a chase kind of initiative right now because it's not like
Because I'm just thinking, like, for later rounds, if I could, like, guidance myself if I needed, that's why I
you
did
only
it
have,
for
yeah,
initiative.
basically once a time. Same with Bardics, where it's like once around you'll be able to give one if you want. First round is easy. Again, you guys push through. Everything's going great. The DC is now 14 for Tulio to get through. Next round, do people want to do the same things of like?
No.
Hug's definitely over there. Like, don't let them know about the bottle.
Don't tell Nana I wasted her vodka. She's gonna be really crankier than
Listen,
usual.
we have all had a grandma that gets mad when you waste their vodka. right? I feel like that's just a universal experience. But for sure, if you want, again, people, if you want to do the same thing, or let me know like a new thing that, like, oh, I thought of this, let me try it.
So I just want to light the ships on fire, but they aren't as
Basically, just
Screw
straight
that.
now, just like shoot the boats themselves. Go ahead then, yeah. Roll. Actually, I will say you don't have to roll the hit because they're everywhere. It's more you're going to be rolling a normal damage, and let me know if you want to smite or do stuff to like try to
So
like
I got
make
an
bigger.
11, but I'm using my heroic moment to do incredible effort, and I give myself a +10.
Plus 10.
This
So,
is why you should give us stamina points, because then we can do call shots and be like, I'm taking out the rudder of this shit. Or,
I think I've almost figured out how I want stamina points to work.
Woo!
They're coming.
Coming soon. To a theater near you.
Well, because like they work really well.
Coming
12.
soon to theaters and DVD.
So that's 12 points of damage. Pretty good stuff. Again, the more damage you do to ships, the overall better in the long term. Because yeah,
Dirty 20.
dirty 20. 7. So Elizabeth, you're finding it's that like it is just getting crowded. It's coming to the point where ships are like within 10 feet, 15 feet, and so it's that like, oh, we're trying to push out of the way, and it's just getting very slim. Nana and Bob, you both succeeded though on the checks. You have done some pretty good damage. Let me write down. Hunk as you boom, 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 boom. Start lighting up again, rocketing holes into the side of ships, across the sails. Some sails are starting to ignite. A lot of stuff's happening. Tulio, that's going to make it only a DC 10 now. It was lowered successfully because again, 3 of your companions are, you're all like pushing the ships out of the way. Here we go.
Yep.
Oh. 21.
Excellent success. Pushing through, you are so close, you're starting to see the edge of the port out into the Nile itself. So, the last check you guys have to make, this is a DC 18, because you can see while the Nile itself is waiting, there are hundreds of ships now. People are starting to swarm. Guards are rushing along both sides, and you think like, if you get stuck here even for a moment, you will risk guards being able to board your ship. Here we go. What do people want to try?
Same thing.
Same thing, same thing.
Instead of doing athletics, I'm gonna ask because if this isn't something I can do, then I will do athletics. But could I try and like actually? I have a spell that makes my voice 3 times louder than usual. But I just like moving voice like make way for the pharaoh.
Like deception because we're on the
Just make
boat.
me a
That's
deception
clever.
check.
That was
That's
amazing.
so smart.
That's what, yeah, if you guys just want to be like, I want to try this, yeah, that's a deception check.
I'm still doing the athletics.
That's a
Five.
23.
23, oh my god.
26.
26, yikes!
I rolled a 19.
Good heavens.
I'm so happy.
Bob's where's
So
the
Hey.
way for pharaoh?
I got 8 damage.
8
which is
damage.
low.
So that's
Can
gonna,
I cast a thunder smite?
yes, you can. That's gonna be
got that.
auto full damage because it is force / thunder damage, which against constructs
So 12, then?
always doubles. So another auto 12.
It's just full damage.
That's
Sorry,
just
I didn't mean to roll it.
Oh,
I
no,
was
you're
just
good, you're
looking
good.
at it to see to learn if I did anything.
so
Anyway,
yeah,
sorry.
that's
Yeah, so 12.
auto full damage plus that.
Oh shoot, sorry.
Hunk has destroyed, or on the way to destroying, quite a few ships. This is definitely going to help out in that long term of like, there's a lot of ships Hunk now that are like, they're not like exploding. It's not like an action movie, but you're like, oh, no one's going to be sailing that for a good while until they repair it. As Elizabeth and Nana, you guys are pushing, and it's just getting terribly hard to get stuff out of the way. Like, I will say, Nana, you're pushing, and Elizabeth, you are just having to, like, bare hand, like, literally within inches of your ship, just push. And it's like that, you're keeping your ship from being capsized, but just having to push the other ships off the side. Bob the Tomato, you cry out, make way for the Pharaoh. That's going to be really good. That is going to bring us from a DC 18 with... This is down to a DC 13.
Woo, dude.
So, Tulio, we just need to beat a DC 13. You have the advantage. Bless you.
That's a dirty
as the last ship in the way, Bob, you boom out your voice. Like, sailors are like, well, yeah, I know that ship. Like, what? As right before you reach, you are just hearing the guards atop the towers above you in this archway. Halt! Halt! Stand down! Stop your vessel! And are like trying to run up. One or two of them try to jump and like fall into the Nile, trying to reach your ship in that attempt to like jump off and board. But you have succeeded all 3 times. You are shooting off into the Nile in that gentle, smooth cutting right before any danger possesses you.
Dang,
Told
y'all.
you guys to know boats.
So good.
Yeah, I got boats.
Just like now that we're safe, all the confidence, but a second ago, just he was sweating bullets. Like, of course, told you guys to do what I was doing.
We don't know
You know
boats.
boats. Now can we go get our wagon? I miss our wagon. I don't like boats.
Yeah, let's go get the castle.
Yep.
Where were camels?
You just
we
parked
went
on
on
the
the other
west
side of
bank,
the
so it's gonna be a quick like circle around Egypt.
Circle back around.
Let's circle back. Circle back.
Okay, I know you said this. I want to double check.
Sky high.
Our
Yeah.
camels
Circle back
are-
around.
Camels are. This boat is big
They're like
enough to.
fighting in the sky.
Because this boat is like, what if the pharaoh wanted to bring his personal chariot onto? Like, this boat is made for rich luxury in
Well,
mind.
she said that, but then I thought maybe I misheard.
No, you're totally fine.
so-
It's indeed, it's that like, you guys can fit your camel boat on here safely. Like, it's
There's
got
probably
space.
a small stable on the boat because
I will
this is
say,
the Pharaoh's boat.
very much so. Now that you have a chance, Tulio, of course, still having to like guide the boat. And I will say, I won't be rude. It's smart enough. Make a wide berth. Don't sail right up close to the city right now. But like, you make a wide berth, start to head back to the area where you know, just a few miles north of Nantet, that or Nanten, that your camels are.
Aren't you like the guy who split the sea? Could you have like done that to get us out of there?
We're not talking about that right now.
I will
We're
say
not talking
Joshua
about a lot of
speaks up.
business
I
right
doubt
now.
he can do anything right now.
Oh, the doors.
Moses, you hear this actually turn. Joshua has been in full prayer this whole time. This entire time, like you guys have been doing, like shall I say, the heavy lifting. He has literally been on both knees and just very quietly praying, and just kind of opens his eyes to say this. Stands up, goes over to his 2 companions, and they begin speaking very quickly and quietly. I will say, does anyone besides Moses speak Hebrew?
Nah.
So
Very
Moses,
specifically.
if you want to listen to Moses, I'll allow you to.
Okay.
I have a very random question. This can be an after D&D. Aaron, wait, this is Joshua. Joshua took over for Moses after Moses died in the Bible, but we're making it so that you're led at the same time.
No, well, they
No,
were
they
led
were.
at the same time.
Yeah.
But Joshua was taught by Moses.
Joshua was one of the
And
highest
Joshua
spiritual
got
warriors
the-
in the Bible
Joshua
for
became
that
the prophet
regard.
after Moses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't remember this from Old Testament.
No, that's
It's a
okay.
very bad Old Testament.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
they were alive at
you'd
the
be
same
hard
time.
pressed to find
Joshua was
anyone who
basically
really
his
knows the Old
protege
Testament. There's a
and
lot
his
in there.
own sort of-
It was wild when I had to like do a full read just for this campaign where I'm like, yeah, what does this all have?
I love that you had to do your homework by reading the scripture.
Listen, when you're a DM,
That's
you're
amazing.
sitting there in the Old Testament reading the Torah and the Bible, and then you go watch Shrek. You know, that's what my life is.
Then you have to marathon Voltron.
Yeah, right. Then it's like, all right, let's speed through Voltron, and then how did God bless the Israelites in their trials in the
This
wilderness?
is amazing.
Oh my gosh, I've had so much fun with this campaign. But
Thank you
as
for
indeed,
that answer.
thank you. As you guys are looking at these campaigns, Moses, you're thinking in. All of you, I will say, passively now can really get a good look at this boat. This is very, very fine working. There are many fine blue and gold leather seats, like leather that has been painted and dyed. There are canopies with the sailcloth that like stretch out to offer up this relief and shade. The boat is meant to, yes, you really only need a small crew of about 4 to sail it, like, successful. So ever so often, of course, Moses, Elizabeth, Hug, Bob, Nana, like, all of you guys can, like, do subtle jobs here and there. But for the most part, this is a nice boat.
Okay, I just had a funny picture in my head.
Mhm.
Just the sides of the boat are also bloodstained from when the Nile turned to blood.
actually, I was going to.
Restored it. It's been a couple years.
I was going to say there is, fun fact, the slightest discoloration on the edges because the blood and iron in the Nile did discolor. So this boat has been restored even to the best of the extent. Like, probably some other people's boats have been really ruined. This one is just now like that. We can't just fully replace it unless we go full Ship of Theseus, like, plank by plank. But, like, there is still that, like, weird water edge of, like, a dual edge of just, like, discoloration in the paint and
Makes
wood.
sense. It's soaked in blood for a while.
Okay,
Right?
So I have two questions.
Yes.
First, do we have any clue like where we're headed now? And second, if we are going to be on this boat for a while and not immediately ditching it, is there anything we can do to disguise it as not the most recognizable boat on the Nile while we're being hunted?
Valid question.
That's a very valid question. Wait, you have a disguise kit, but it's a tomato-sized disguise kit. Never mind.
That's amazing.
Brain needs to make connections here.
It's
Sorry.
like half an ounce of makeup stretches to cover the entire.
The Sea Serenade, if we just erase the S, it's the E Serenade. They'll never know. But no, I think that's
When
awesome.
we pick up the camel sled, can we pick up a bunch of mud at the same time? Because the mud then we can take into the grooves for where it's painted on the side for what kind of, for what it's named and everything. It's not a permanent solution, but it's a patch job.
I was thinking
It would
could
probably
we
last a couple
dye
hours of that, yeah.
something like I don't really. Okay, Hannah doesn't know a lot about Egyptian culture in like the sense of the boats. I know about the gods. I just know about the boats. Do they dye their sails?
No, they most likely would have been just raw linen.
These sails are a thicker oiled linen. Most of the boat actually, again, as Moses kind of already, you said this in real life, Mason, these are very low, more raft-like boats, where the main form of transportation, you do still use the sails, but a lot of it is pole work, oars. I will let you know, this boat does seem to move much faster than most. Again, it is it's a luxury yacht. It's meant to be very nice, move quickly. So there's like really no weapons. Unfortunately, you're not seeing like a bunch of swords and shields. But there is a large space where you could easily hold a chariot or two. You could be able to hold like a party on here, but of course it hasn't been outfitted yet for that kind of voyage. In terms of redetailing, you could just stop in a port and try to like quickly, if we can go buy some paints, buy some stuff.
I was thinking.
We
Eventually,
need to find a chop shop.
as
Well, I
this
was
sounds
wondering,
bad,
do they paint their boats? Because like I wouldn't want it to be really obvious that we did something today.
the real key is you could repaint this boat, and then in all honesty, it's only the look that would give it away, and that just, this sounds really bad. Ramses didn't get like a custom model ship.
Okay.
This is just like a, hey, we're giving you a luxury ship for your birthday. And so it's
And
not
we're
like, if
accenting
this gets repainted and you even accent it or rename it, like,
No one's really.
no one's gonna look at that and go, is that Pharaoh Ramses the Sea Serenade from Egypt? Like, they would be, that's wild stuff.
Because I was thinking more paint, but I also didn't want to be like nobody paints their ships and all of a sudden there's
No,
a
yeah, I
painted
get
ship.
that.
So I would say I don't think we need to like do it in Egypt because
No.
that's too risky.
Can we
But I
mix
would-
paint? Can we go and find flowers and stuff in the wilderness and
Would we
mix our own
find
paints?
enough to actually do a full ship?
We don't even have to do a full
Colors.
ship. It's just the
Because,
accents.
Like blue would be really hard to find, but like if you found like a tan or I don't know, like other colors that are more.
I will let you know, foraging wise, you would have to forage for a good week just to even accent a ship.
Okay.
Because again, usually foraging, again, fun fact, bringing up a bit of my real world knowledge, pigment and dyes are, you can find them in nature, but like you would have to find a lot, cook them down, get the right stuff to get the amount you want.
What would probably be more efficient if we had to make our own paint would be to use stone and animal fat and that.
We're wealthy.
Oh, for a second I thought you were talking about real world. I'm like, what?
You're like,
I
no,
wish
we're not.
Are you?
If we were wealthy, we'd live in a house, not a tiny
Right.
apartment.
I was like, if you're wealthy, we're
I
friends,
feel that.
right?
All of us feel that.
Like,
Hey!
before we pull into any ports, we could like stop a little ways away and let out a couple people like in the camel sleds to like go buy paints and things
Yeah.
before.
So,
you know,
yeah, don't arrive in this
just because until we've
recognizable
at least
ship.
renamed it, I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
Exactly, for sure.
Especially since Egypt has conquered the lands around.
So those two are from. Who would be the most
I'll drive the wagon.
likely not to be recognized?
Oh, probably this little old lady.
Yeah, probably.
Because I can even doff my armor, so
Not
then
this one.
I just look like a little old lady.
Anyone
Yeah.
but
Not that one.
Nope, not me.
I'm in weird yellow armor, so if I took it off, maybe I could
I have pink hair.
Pink hair, blue hair.
I know, being pink, it makes you so recognizable.
So I think the most unrecognizable are the old lady,
Tulio.
big
And
guy,
the
and the
tomato and the dude. You know, Tulio, a tomato, and a grandma.
Are we back in our chainmail though?
Yes,
Yes,
you
we
guys
were,
did
but
get
we
all your
can
armor,
take
and you
off
can
our
choose to like redon all your armors and stuff
But
down.
if we go out, then we won't
Mhm.
attack. I won't have my terror. I recognizable.
In which case, I will
I need to
ask.
buy some more knitting needles.
Indeed, the lands of Egypt have been conquered, Bob rightly saying. There's a lot of places you could go, though. Neten, even though you were found there, it could be that in and out. You could try to sail farther up north to one of the conquered nations of Nubia. If you were to sail very far south, find your way to like the mountains towards what we know as Midian. There's some like small cities out there. Or of course make it towards all the way up towards the Delta, far, far north, and maybe try to find some of those like seaside before you hit the Mediterranean cities, which might be like, I shouldn't say the most easily like slip into the crowd, because anywhere you go, there's always a chance of being discovered and always a chance of being like hidden.
is there a direction we want to go because we have a destination, or like is there some place Joshua wants us to drop them off?
Do we know
Yeah, you
that
can talk to
Joshua
Joshua.
is
Yeah.
named Joshua?
Didn't Joshua say we had to save his people anyway?
Okay. Mr. Grumpy and Mysterious, where... Joshua.
You see,
okay.
Joshua stands up.
Where should we go?
For the first time, all of you get a good look at him. Again, hood is down, very much like he's just that like inch and a half smaller than Moses. But you see, he is very much that same build. He is a very muscular toned man who those jet black hair contrast with those like dashing hazel eyes of that like it feels like
Dashing Hazel.
dashing hazel eyes.
It's just like you're like,
Dashing.
he's a good-looking man.
He is where he's got that like very like
It's good on profits are
smart
attractive.
yeah. God ain't going ugly.
Oh my gosh!
The God of the New Testament ain't gonna hire anyone who ain't
killed it.
good.
We literally just killed Nick.
I love it. But you see that
my God.
Joshua sitting there.
Does he call them qualified, or does he qualify
he's got
the
that, like,
were they
very,
asking
like,
for it on the exam, or were they-
I
yeah.
want to call it the
Oh my
like
gosh.
Doctor Strange level goatee beard, where it's like very small and thin.
Oh, I see.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, right. So Benedict Cumberbatch could play Joshua in an upcoming
He
biopic,
doesn't look
even though he's
muscular enough.
not Hebrew at all.
Scrawny.
I am okay with that.
Yeah, but I will say, of course, Joshua is very much
Moses.
Middle Eastern complexion with that very olive skin, tanned and taut hands. Kind of like as you all approach Moses, the snippets conversation you were overhearing were a lot about our next plans. We need to meet up with the rest of the groups, bring word of the tribes. Do we head south first? No, I think we need to accomplish the mission first. Okay, if it, like little things that didn't mean much to you, but probably will now. As Joshua looks at you all,
So, where do you want us to drop you off?
Sorry, that was me, not Nana.
So we're thankful that you
I think he's taking us with him.
we're not going with you. We have our own job to do. I need to go find an ogre. Do you know what an ogre is? They're really green and little weird things on the side of their ears. On the side of their ears.
I thought that was
They're
better
like
conversation.
onions, they have layers.
as this horrifyingly awkward exchange of Elizabeth explaining an ogre to
Messages
Joshua,
or something, because we're not hearing anything.
Joshua just looks at you guys, doesn't say a word for many minutes.
Habla
This is the company you keep?
Joshua will eventually speak up. The workings of the Lord must be accomplished before the workings of man.
Well,
I'm glad my workings of man are important because those are definitely going to be above whatever the Lord guy is talking about.
As Joshua looks at you, fate and faith have delivered Moses unto us, as we are in need of
I'm
him.
pretty sure it was a camel.
Call it fate, destiny, a camel. It is the full quote. Wow,
I'm
bastardizing
sorry,
Disney
I'm sorry.
in this
I'm
holy
wearing a
house.
poster. I had to be like,
Joshua
fate,
looks
destiny,
at you
a
all
horse.
and just kind of like not getting any of the humor you think. He's like very like, what are you talking about?
Oh, these camels. They spit at annoying people.
Okay, let's go back to the what do they need Moses for?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Do you need just Moses or do you need all of us? Because we can just sell you Moses.
No, we
What?
cannot do that.
Joshua raises. This
She's
could
not
be acceptable.
human.
We will buy him for 20 pieces of silver.
Oh, August.
Okay, question is that how much I paid for Christ?
Yes.
Yes. I'm sorry. That was so
Oh, wait,
blasphemous.
guys, that's also what Joseph was.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
20 pieces of silver is
It was
actually
the
used a
same
lot.
amount.
Like,
Yeah.
not even like Joseph or like you'll find references in the Bible to 20 pieces of silver a lot.
Okay, we're not doing
But
that.
we're not gonna sell Moses. But you see, Joshua thinks like you're full serious. Just this would be perfect. We will buy him from you.
She is not human and has no moral compass. We don't listen to her. What do you need him for? Are we like?
Yeah.
Is
Has
this like a
Moses
human
not
sacrifice
told
thing?
you
Like,
of
I'm
his
very concerned.
condition?
He tells us nothing.
Condition? Are you
We
sick?
barely know him.
Are you
We
dying?
barely
Are
know
you
each
ill?
other.
As you
And then he
say,
came down and told us to do
as
shit,
you
and I
say,
don't know what's going
we
on.
barely know him. You hear a voice speak up. Oh, don't worry. I barely know him too.
Is that his wife?
And you
What?
see Moses. You immediately recognize the voice of Zipporah. As the woman, she was unconscious the whole time, has just now awakened after some heavy hits from our two hitters. Huck and Elizabeth just kept nailing her
I
in
just
the
want to
skull.
say, if we had successfully kidnapped her, can you imagine the reunion on the ship with?
I was very excited. I'm like, you don't even know, because I'm like, who would you take? One of these figures? I'm like, you're taking his wife. But Moses, you turn and see Zipporah now getting up from the dead. Zipporah is very Midian. She has that very dark African level skin and hair.
He told us his whole story.
Very like beautiful coal black eyes.
about this.
It's I think because Moses kind of brushed it in, but it's to the same level of like, Nana, have you ever been married before? Like a couple of it's not like, oh yeah, but exactly like it's not one of those things where you're like, you had a wife. It's like, oh yeah, sure, you got married, you lived with these people, like.
We had all probably assumed she had died, or
Exactly.
that they had been estranged. We didn't realize she would come back.
Yeah, exactly. As Zipporah looks at you, we are in need of Moses because while he is a disgraced prophet, he is still a prophet of the Lord. She's gonna look at you once, Moses, and then kind of turn her attention to the rest of the group and not focus on you.
She just dismissed you so
And-
easy.
And she's gonna explain to you this. We believe in the Lord God, one who has created the worlds and one worthy of worship as he protects his chosen people. We know that this Lord brings prophets to the people, and while quite alarming, Moses is a prophet. You see, Joshua's going to take up then this narrative. Prophets are not called more as chosen. Moses and I share a very specific bloodline, unlike any of you, allowing us to be prophets. And you see Moses indeed, some of that same like vibe. I don't say this because like just it's almost that spidey sense now, the tickle of your mind, like very much something with Joshua feels alike to you. Not anyone can be a prophet, but when a prophet is called and chosen, they have a very specific task. This calling and accomplishment can only be lost in two ways. One, complete apostasy. Two, death. And he kind of looks straight at your eyes, Moses.
He died many times.
But we are in need of a third
It's
way.
true. He was dead. Full dead.
Stays dead.
I mean, we kind of. I think Ramses wished he stayed full dead.
Very wanted of it. The is going to speak up. Now, again, you see this younger man, again, still very Hebrew in appearance, pulls himself up and says, but we believe there is a third way. You see, after the apostate Moses left the Hebrews after his transgressions and sins, we believed that we were fine. Joshua was called, and we have anointed him for our prophet, but he does not yet have the full powers and rights of God as the prophet because Moses is still here. We need him to be able to free the Israelites, but I believe I've found a way.
So I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So Moses left, and they assumed you apostatized, but in reality you didn't.
It's kind of seeming like that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's very much the label that has been given to you a couple times is apostate or heretic, but that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks you were, but in your heart of hearts, you never actually.
And it also seems like
so it's
the
like
calling.
Moses went up to Mount Sinai, they just kind of went, well, he left us.
Right.
Oh.
And in reality, they left you. So they actually apostatized from you.
Pretty much.
And then they got recaptured by the Egyptians. And if your calling is to free the Israelites, then that means you are not done with your calling as the prophet,
Yeah.
and therefore Joshua cannot inherit the full mantle because you haven't finished your mission.
You
So
see-
it sounds like you have two options. Well, actually, one option.
Joseph said, "We
Two
have
options.
Joshua-
You could accept him as your prophet, or you could kill him.
we have found a third option.
I mean, really.
The chaos.
This is Malachi, one of the sons of Levi."
I wondered who the third person was.
And you see that indeed Malachi, this young man, pulls out a quick scroll out of his side bag, pulls it out. I will actually ask, this is written in Celestial. Does anyone read Celestial?
I seriously
Moses
doubt it,
does.
but
Bob,
I will
you
check.
might. Yeah, check. Because this is not like common Hebrew, I think. This is straight up Celestial.
Straight up celestial.
Where are languages?
Full of
It's under
Dominic.
features and traits. I only speak common and draconic.
Where are languages written on D&D Beyond?
It's under features and traits all the way down to the bottom.
Oh my gosh.
Also, I apologize. The muffins are just a little salty.
They're like
So
really
good.
good. No, you're good.
I don't mind the saltiness.
Well, because salt really helps us, like, even like sweet treats, because it helps bring it out.
Right. So like
Yeah.
there's salt in it, but like what happened when I poured my salt, it like overflowed.
Oh,
I didn't realize it
I
overflowed
feel
as
that.
much as it did. It's a little
For those then, I think just two of our party that read Celestial. This script does seem to be very, very old. Indeed,
It does not list my
the
languages.
big things you were seeing,
It
this is
doesn't
some
list
sort of
it doesn't list anything.
account, for lack of a better word. Like, you're realizing this is some sort of, like, journal or scripture that someone has written.
Yeah, it doesn't
And
list
as you're reading this, you see Malachi says, we found in our readings that there is another way for the true prophetic power to be called forth, and that is through something called, well, for lack of a better word, the secret ordinance. Something that a prophet can use to pass on the mantle, or shall we say, a mantle can be gifted to another.
So this is like the Pope.
Very
The
much so.
Pope.
It's the vibe of like a pope, or like, okay, so like just calling a new church, but you see, he says, this ordinance though is quite dangerous and powerful, and it's why we need Moses. It cannot be done without him. Of course, if he were dead, the powers should pass to Joshua immediately, but because they didn't, we needed to find him. Yeah.
When Moses died and was made alive like 7 times, did Joshua feel a difference in the mantle? Did like come back?
Do you
and
wanna
go
ask him
away,
that?
And come back and go away and come back and go away.
Do you want to ask him that?
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask him.
You said, what happened to Moses?
He died 7 times.
Pharaoh killed me and brought me back a whole lot.
So did you feel a difference in, in your mantle that you're calling this? Did it like come back and go away?
Moses.
And come back and
He'll
go
make a
away
check.
7
He'll think
times?
about it.
Did you see something when you were dead?
Yeah.
I do not feel anything, but again, if, as you say, this was happening succinctly and in quick matter, I don't believe I would have felt anything.
Or perhaps it would not count because he was going to be brought back, and if your God is all powerful, then he knows that Moses is still coming back and not them.
Yeah, that's true.
This is true.
So maybe we shouldn't try killing Moses.
You see, he's the Portugal. Yet. Yeah. Moses. Ay.
Sorry, I was just thinking of like a missionary mantle.
Yeah, right. That like
Remember
just
when
pass
it
it on.
left, and then I'm like, imagine it coming back and forth.
Malachi will kind of finish looking at the scripture. It is something we know is a journey that can be taken upon. As far as we understand, though, it would require a bit of a journey with these two persons.
Oh boy.
As
Where would we be going?
the text states that one must first start in... Now, this is actually, even for Bob and Moses, you're realizing, like, this word in Celestial isn't translating correctly. There's no, like, immediate, common equivalent. And you see, Malachi says, the journey must begin in the birth, womb, beginning. It's very unclear.
Does it say beginning of something? Like, what comes after that?
Beginning of, well, and then this next word, I will actually say, Bob and Moses, if you want to give me a religion, wisdom-based check to interpret this, because you see Malachi has a word, but all of you can assume he's not even very confident on this. It is just that, like, listen, I can read Celestial, but, like, there's
Birth,
this...
beginning, bloom, something like that.
Something of that
Okay,
nature.
that's a 17.
17?
Really creation or something?
That's 11.
11.
I can guide spells
Of-
and see if we can break 20.
Yeah, so Tulio giving that guidance of like, because again, Bob Tulio knows all of you are poring over this scroll, like, okay, what does this say? And I will say,
Bob.
Celestial is written in
Bardic.
I'm out.
outright.
you are
It's
out.
again,
Yeah, we
we
haven't
have yet to rest. Oh man.
Otherwise, I would.
Yeah, right.
That's a 219.
19.
Dang it, so close.
Moses, the word you are seeing is, I will say the DC was 18.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to text you the word. I want you to reveal it how you so fit. I don't love doing like
What
super.
a flex, though. Like, haha, you're not the prophet anymore. Comes and, like, reads the scroll.
But you see,
Yeah,
Malachi,
it's like,
the word, the birth womb of life? No, of
I just come along.
parent of.
Garden.
The Garden of Eden? Nah.
You see garden, and you like it does click. Bob, Malachi, like all of you. Yes, the syntax of the sentence. Right. That's
guess
why
we're
it would be
going
placed
to,
in this way.
Missouri.
Because I would say
Wait,
celestial is
garden?
written what we would know as Arabic, actually. That
Garden?
beautiful
Yeah.
right to left,
Dude,
that
did you freaking
Sanskrit.
come from the Garden of Eden?
Did I?
Is that
Oh.
what? That makes so much sense, actually.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
So I'm sorry, did no one think of this before?
I would be that you had a canonical Garden of Eden that existed currently that people know where it is and
Hey,
was coming
August, I figured it out. Can I have a point of inspiration? I've been trying so hard.
Yeah,
Yes!
I'll give you that one. I will say yeah, because for Nana, you think of this Bob, it's not like garden.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
broke
My
it.
brain is broken too.
Oh,
Moses
agreed.
as Malcolm.
You are a very special
Because then in this garden, the power can, and you see Malachi kind of gains this confidence. The power can grow and transfer from one to another.
Wait, Adam named all the living, breathing things. Did Adam name the tomatoes?
Your name is
Your
Bob.
name is Bob.
No, to be fair though, after all the different animals and everything else, getting to the end, Bob, like that's the fairest thing I've ever heard.
And you shall be zebra. You missed this one. Oh hell, Bob. I don't know. It looks like
That
a Bob.
to me would be
Dragon
the
fruit.
fairest thing.
Bob.
Bob. Dragon fruit.
Tomato.
Apple.
I don't know, Larry?
Bob.
Tomato.
But no, yeah, we have to make sure we have to specifically say he is a tomato, but this one specifically
Is named Bob. But Moses, as Malachi
gosh,
finishing up,
not
looking,
name names.
we think that if this
I love
place
that.
could be found, that a transverse of prophetic power, which would free you, Moses, from your calling, and Joshua could then lead the Israelites.
Okay, August, I have a DM question.
Yeah.
When Nick said he wanted to play Baba Tomato, is that what sparked this whole idea for the Garden of Eden, or was the Garden of Eden already there and Nick just played perfectly into it?
I mean, canonically.
What came first, chicken or the egg? You all gave me such great ideas. I could not tell you actually sometimes what sparked what.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because there was too much. Well, because Mason brought Moses, and I went, oh yeah, that's a lot of Old Testament, and then Bob the Tomato, and then other parties had other things. I went, oh, all right.
That's awesome.
So, Moses, as you're reading this, you see Joshua just. So we wish to start our journey for this garden, as we now call it.
So we're going to his hometown, then your hometown. Where are you from? Do you know where? Yeah, do you know where this garden is? But
Do you know
but
where it is?
Do I know where they Can I make a history check?
Yes, you may.
Oh,
I'm like,
just immediately,
please.
we're going
He's
home.
like, I have no idea how to get home,
Oh.
guys.
Where are we going?
Not 20.
No.
Just kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Nick.
Confidence. I was like, okay.
It's a 17.
I'm waiting for my pulse to come back. I just felt the flush in my system.
Yeah, guidance.
Guidance.
Guidance bomb.
17?
Yeah.
It's only
It's a
D4.
D4.
That was so funny.
You gave August heart
My
palpitations.
gosh, I'm like, no!
That's a 21 now.
Yes.
21
You
is
rolled
still very good.
On a roll.
Bob, you do not know the path, but I will give you on a 21. You're digging through your memories, thinking back. You remember the garden, but then it's starting to get a little bit hazy, especially with these nightmares you've been having, things. You do remember, for lack of a better term, a important point. You don't know if it was near the garden or a place you were at after, but far to the northeast of here, what you could think of as in the Mediterranean, there was a city. I will say, on a 21, I think I'll give you the name of the city. Sorry, I just had to pull up my note. Azure.
Oh, that sounds cool.
It means blue. The city of Azure,
that makes
sitting
sense.
on the Mediterranean coast. You remember it more because, again, it had that very beautiful climate, a place, and it's very much that this was important, either to my leaving or to the place itself. It was somewhere close here.
Okay. Yeah, it's.
Did you make it in Italy? You said the Mediterranean. And it's Azure, which
Azure.
is very
I would love it.
Latin
if it
based.
The Italians came from God. No, but I will say, Bob, that's the name that's coming to you of like.
Catholicism is in
Oh,
the one,
I'll
I swear.
explain that.
Day 8, God created spaghetti.
He said, "Hey, I'm working here."
Working here.
Sorry,
Has
Bob. please-
anyone been to Azure?
I seriously
I will say, I don't
doubt
think
it.
anyone would have ever been there.
I was
The only reason I would have gone to Italy of all places is
We've got
if war
some
brought me
great
there.
And war has never gone that far, thankfully, I should say.
Thank heavens,
Set us
yeah.
a course, Bob.
Do I remember where it is? Like,
You,
I know I
enough of
remember
like if you guys were to head up to the Delta and try to get to Mediterranean, yeah.
Cool.
So, do we want to stop anywhere to paint the ship first, or do we just want to go?
Yeah, because I would say Nubia is on the way, or just some of those other coastal cities along the
I
upper.
would like to get as far away from Egypt before we have to stop.
I'd say we may as well do Nubia and then we keep going.
Nubia is still pretty close, so maybe like the one after Nubia.
However, it's that like.
The longer we have this being the
Well,
sea.
no, that's not what I was going to say. I mean, that's also a fair point.
Yeah.
But the point I was trying to make, and I just can't figure out how to word it, it's
That's
like
fair.
like if we're seen farther downstream or whatever in the way we're
They'll
going,
know where
then
we're going.
like yeah, we might like give away more of what direction we're taking versus if we like change before we get too far away.
He's making
then
faces.
like it might be harder to figure out what direction we're going.
It's clever.
I was also thinking the longer we stay on the water, the more time they have to put like out a declaration of proclamation,
APB.
something. Yeah.
That's literally.
I need AP all points bulletin on my boat.
I mean, he is the pharaoh. He
Egypt
can do that.
5-0,
And
like
if our
lights are
plan is
blazing.
to, like, not
Blue
be
flame,
able to
red
see,
flame,
but
flashing.
allow
Yeah, I
them
wrote
to
9-9.
slide anyway, and then I would say sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Have you guys
I
seen
agree.
Operation Petticoat?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's this really great
So I think.
movie with Cary, like old Cary Grant.
Oh, I love
But
you.
it's a World
So
War II
I think
movie
we
with
are
a
probably just
submarine,
gonna stop in
and they
Nubia.
only have
and,
white.
I think you mentioned, or someone did, parking the boat somewhere a ways off and taking the camel sled in to get the stuff, the paint and stuff.
Alright, so
Really old school.
pulling over to the banks.
Wait, I have woodcarver's tools too, so I can even make some minor aesthetic changes to the boat.
It's
Does anybody have any wood carving skills that we can stand off the name and
Me.
It's more, yes, it's, that's what I would say, is like wood
Yeah.
carving, you probably couldn't like detail, but it's the
But
important
I
thing
can
is
do something.
the sanding and engravings around the sea serenade is the important part. Who would want to jump off though? Because Nana, if you were doing that, you couldn't be driving the camel sled over into town.
Oh, that's true.
Because you, Tulio, and Bob are the three that are like, okay, we
I
three
think
are
I
not
would rather
noticeable.
drive the sled because I've got really good. He's giving me double proficiency because I have proficiency in land vehicles and I'm doing my animal handling too.
I'm stealthy.
I just grab a strip of cloth and make like a turban around Elizabeth's head, tie the pink hair.
I do have a +4 to stealth.
You have +4.
So
Yeah,
I was
hide the hair.
thinking, like we could have like 2 of us, or I guess a couple of us go in and eat stealthily and then come back.
Well, I mean, we can't be too stealthy if we're gonna like walk into a store and buy paint.
Well, but
like we don't want to be caught by the guards
Yeah.
if they're looking.
Yeah.
Which is why
So,
we're like not wearing armor.
Elizabeth,
we're doing-
Tulio, Hunk.
Lana
Elizabeth
wanted
has,
to drive the sled
yeah.
for us.
True.
So the
and
three
Elizabeth
of
has
you
pink
can
hair.
stay.
That is
well,
very
and Bob
distinctive.
is that,
But we
Well,
said
he
we
just
for
would
lack of a
try
better term,
Oh, true.
Bob, you
I
are that
didn't say
awesome ace in the hole of like you are just a tomato.
Tomato in the pocket.
Like no one's gonna really look closely at you and
Not an ace in the hole, a tomato in the pocket.
So,
I
we
love
don't
that.
and
Thank you.
white
Thank you.
together.
we have a tomato in our pocket. Is that a euphemism? Like what are you saying?
Very
Go,
well.
go! Just like throw you.
It's like
So-
pocket
Oh
snake.
crap! It's flooded.
So Nana, Tulio, and I are gonna go and get paint.
Okay. The rest of the party go. I will say you have enough time for a short rest before stopping at one of these cities like Nubia before getting paint. If people want a short rest to either heal up any hit points or spell slots.
I take a short rest and just keep resting. when
Like
we
in
get off
someone's
the ship.
pocket.
If you want to like take a full long rest, Bob, I'll just let you know once you will gain the benefits of a long rest because it's that
Yeah,
like
that's
you'll
fair.
start now and because other people are doing stuff, there is a chance if someone like wakes you up, Bob, we gotta go. The city's on fire. Like the camels
so
are eating us.
useful
Yeah.
Having
I just
a
figured
caster
it's
who's so tiny because we've used this with Thumbelina, we've used this with Morph. I mean, it's
There's
such a
this
useful
weird
thing.
theme I've noticed with like, whoa, what if a full caster was the size of like a ball and you could just carry them? It's wild.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
been working so far.
Here we go. Tulio, Nana, and Elizabeth. You guys will head off at one point. Tulio, you kind of dock the ship and unload the camel sled quickly. You all start off.
Just
Yeah.
so everyone's aware, when we get to take a long rest, I can wake up with sailing proficiency.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Tulio can change that.
That would be awesome.
Change the efficiencies.
So, do we need to roll stealth at all, or? are we
I
just
will
gonna-
say we will start with an initial stealth roll.
Okay. I'm not disadvantaged because I'm not.
Oh my gosh, I cannot roll.
Okay, I'm
Sorry,
gonna
there's
start
a bee
doing
by your
dice.
I was like, I thought it was your dice. I'm like, wow.
No, it's a bee. I would not
There's the
actually
bee.
throw something that would hurt you.
Uh, so what do we get for this first half of the group?
That's a nat 13.
I was trying to get
Nat
so
13.
14. I should have gotten 3 nat 13.
That's solid.
14.
14 and Elizabeth, what'd you get?
It was 12.
12. I mean, 12, 13, 14 is still wildly good.
I can't roll
Yeah.
every time.
I will say before we cut to here on the ship, Bob, Hunk, and Moses, you guys are left with Zipporah, Malachi, and Joshua. And there very much is the tension
It was
in
like
the air.
awkward. Yeah.
It's that very much, when I meet the other friend group and no one knows how to start the conversation.
Okay, yeah, that is so awkward.
Is
'cause-
there food on the ship I could cook up for us? and
Yeah,
not
go
be-
make an investigation, Hunk. Hunk leaves to go find food, so now it's just Bob, Moses, and these three.
Oh,
just
no.
for flavor text, I wake up after a short rest, see
that's
the
good.
awkwardness, and then just go back to
Yeah.
sleep.
Hunk goes,
so fair.
Moses, you are left with these three.
Oh, awkward.
So I rolled a 16, but I have an 8 at 1, so 15.
15. Oh yeah, Hunk, you can start preparing foods in this other part of the ship.
Okay,
Just
good,
now-
that's what I
oh
would
good,
like.
I can cook over here. Moses, these three are just staring at you. I will let you know, Joseph is staring with a very inquisitive face. He is studying you up and Joseph. Joshua, I keep doing that, gosh. Joshua. We keep saying so many biblical names, my mind is starting to get warped, I'm not gonna lie. Joshua is just studying. Malachi is looking at you with a sense, like most, it's that like you kind of remember him. It's that like, yeah, you were with the tribe of Levi. Levi were the ones with more of the, what we would call magic and powers, like, and so it's that like, yeah, no wonder he can do some of those spell works. And ever so often, you just look, Zipporah is staring at yours.
Not
So-
too different from when we met.
Oh!
Do you say that?
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no!
Indeed. Should I throw you in the Nile, make it a little more accurate?
You could.
Do you want her to? Never mind. I'm not gonna. I'm not
There was
going.
the
I don't want to know.
I am like apologizing, so do whatever you want
Well,
to do.
I'm
Otherwise-
sorry.
Wait, do you guys have kids? Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Zipporah's just looking at you.
Oh no! Oh no!
Why? Why do you bring making this worse?
He already has plans.
Right before leaving, Nana, oh, are you pregnant? And just leaves or something like that. But yeah, Zipporah just looking at Moses.
I wouldn't do that. You should maybe ask if she.
Oh, this is awkward as hell.
Wait, did you say that?
No, that
No,
was...
that would be even better.
The
Joshua,
promise.
silence your tongue.
Oh no! Wow, that is so awkward.
Zipporah's just looking at you.
Hey, Hunk, you need some help?
No, don't come back
you
here, I'm
guys-
fine. I don't want any of that out here. We're good. I've got it under control.
Don't come in, don't come in.
Don't come in.
I'm here. Go away.
I'm indecent.
I'm indecent.
Hunk,
You're
God, that's
cooking
right.
bacon?
Hunk says, I'm gonna go find some food. Walks away a minute later. I'm gonna find. I'm naked over here. What's he doing? I will say also, Moses, you go to stand, kind of calling that out. Joshua and Malachi kind of like shift to block you from going over there too.
Okay.
Okay.
So, what else is needed for this ordinance?
And one of the other
Malachi kind of like,
Or the hippo on the nine.
as far as we understand, just you have to be in the place, the willingness, two prophets, and as far as the scripture here states, as he pulls it up, well, the rejection of power by the individual. Malachi doesn't know where to go from here after saying that. You see, Zipporah looks at you and just, well, that should be easy for you. You've been running away your whole life. This just makes it official.
Rip Christmas for you.
Oh, no kidding. Oh.
Dude, you may want to talk to her. Otherwise, I think you may wind up with your
Bottom of
guts
the Nile.
outside of you.
Listen, there's some Egyptian forms of punishment.
I know.
Oh, gosh. Oh.
It's turning. How long does this go on?
I'm
Makes
waiting to I'm watching
I
him.
love to imagine that this is how Moses is reacting on the inside, just like.
Well, because it's very much like, again, Joshua's not going to speak because for him it's like, no, I want to, like, learn more about this dude. Like,
Yeah.
like if
He's like, I want the drama.
I'm trying to be the prophet and lead the Israelites. I'm trying to let Malachi. You very much get the sense of like, this isn't my place. I'm here to help. I'm here to be this like.
I am the scribe.
I'm the scribe. I'm the scribe
Don't
and maid.
shoot the message.
And Zipporah is that very accusatory tone of like, I can wait. I'm gonna make a quick roll. Let's see if it has been 3 hours.
Oh
Do I get the full long rest?
my god.
Almost. We're very close. I will say.
Madu would say literally anything at this point.
Punk is just in the kitchen
You have like made so many dishes.
He's like, it is not
They're all
safe to bring the
farting.
food
Oh
yet.
jeez, I wonder what rice and honey taste like together. Ooh, I didn't try this spice in this cabinet.
100% what happened. Yeah,
No, like
exactly.
this sounds really bad. I have been there, like on a mission with companions that, like, or like other elders that like have that problem. I'm like, I'm just gonna go cook, and like
Yeah.
I will just make stuff just to not be
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
It's a real thing of like, doot 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 doot. I can hear the yelling coming from the
And
walls.
Hunt loves to eat and cook, so it works.
Yep.
Yeah.
We will cut that back. I'll Moses, think of what you want to say, because again, I will say it's a standoff right now. But Nana and Tuli Elizabeth, you guys heading into town, easy enough can start finding some paints and stuff you're gonna need for the ship.
I wonder how awkward it is back on the ship.
This is actually one of the, shall we call it like, subset smaller townships outside of Nubia. We're not like in it itself, like, because that would be a totally
Zipporah
different.
has been straight up just staring at Moses, waiting for him to explain himself
3
for 3
hours.
hours. So we cut to us
It's been awkward. Punk's in the kitchen.
I'm
cooking
taking
and
a
eating
nap.
and cooking and
Bob
eating
decided to
and
take a nap.
cooking
I
and
kind of understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
I'm a woman, I totally understand.
I will actually ask for Tulio, Elizabeth, and Nana. What colors do you want to buy?
What is the cheapest color?
Red.
Right now, the
Russia.
cheapest colors are
Okay,
for
but
sure red.
We don't need
Yes!
it to be super obvious. That's the part that
He just said that red was the cheapest.
Well, no, I'm saying like in a the cheapest colors are going to be like reds, greens, and a little bit of
Fair,
purple
even
actually
if
right now.
everything was red and black at this time.
Those are
Like,
the
those
big
were
colors.
the colors.
I should actually say I'm not
Red and black?
talking about black, white, or grays because those are like very neutral. Like
I'm just telling
like
you,
normal.
red's not like a weird
Oh, yeah.
color
Yeah.
to see.
Oh, okay.
It's not a weird color.
We can do red.
Because you could
black,
go for
and
that,
white.
like, if we paint it a little more extravagantly, like, using some more of those expensive, like, blues or yellows, like, that actually might help it, I don't want to say not stand out, but it's not like, oh yeah, that's an expensive looking yacht. Or you could just go for that, like, very classic, like, if we get some red and blacks, like, paint it. And that's why, like,
And this might sound really bad. Could we roll insight to see what would be the least noticeable?
sure, I'll
It's
allow
like,
it.
we got a nice yacht, but went for the cheapest option.
Well, we want cheap, but we don't
I
want
got a
noticeable.
Ferrari the other day, and I painted it with a spray can. Like, well, but yeah, it's that, like, we don't
Painted
want to be
it
noticed,
brown.
but we
I got
want it to look
Oh, that's
normal.
a 9.
I got an 11.
9, 11.
I'm
11.
feeling red and black, man.
Yes.
It's like, and again, there's stuff I can give on this. It's that
Those
very
are
like,
11.
what could be the most like, oh yeah, this feels good in a generic way.
Okay, well, I rolled really badly, so that's a 9. Who got highest? I can
Me.
give a guidance.
9, 9, and 11.
We both
Well,
got
I
an
can give
11.
a guidance.
Yeah.
To,
We both got an 11.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
well, Lonnie's got her dice with her.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. So, and again, this is for a group. Like all of you are talking
That's
together.
another freaking one.
Another freaking
12.
So 9, 11, 12.
9, 11, 12.
Oh.
Nana, Elizabeth, and Tulio, you guys again looking at the ships. Lots of reds and blacks. What you know right now, to give you like what the Sea Serenade is right now, is very much a blue with gold trim.
So if we do more blue,
So blue might get a little too noticeable. You think right now it's like
But red and gold
a
and black.
red black gold motif would look expensive, but it's not gonna like draw the eyes
It
of
looks
anyone too much.
appropriately Egyptian, but it doesn't also look too.
It's a solid
I
color.
thought you said red as a joke from Russia, and it actually turned
I
I will
know,
say,
that made me so happy.
In this port in Nubia, you're finding these
Holy
paints,
fuck.
starting to get the thing.
Yes.
You could also commission a quick nameplate to overdo the Sea Serenade. but you would have to
I should not name it because it will be Russian.
The dragon.
Oh, that's like Adam saying the adamantine. That's so obnoxious.
It is. It's the same level of
The
Tyson.
ogre slayer. Tyson, the same
So,
person.
did we see, like, when we were in the port, like, what all the other ships were named so we could get, like, a good
That
map, like,
is
what are all the
Yes.
names?
Yes.
Donkey.
So,
Well, 'cause again-
what were some of the names that we saw?
Yeah,
Like, give them
written
names.
in Egyptian and
Fiona.
Nubian. A lot of
I
things
got
are
it.
either named after
The Ogre Slayer.
animals, nature, or gods.
The
Is the
donkey
big
slayer.
things right now because those
The
are
hidden hippo.
I was gonna say the hippo. So yes.
the hippo.
The hidden hippo is my
Hidden
vote.
hippo or like the hippo's bite? 'Cause
Actually-
he almost got bit by it.
Yeah, all right.
Well,
Oh,
because, like, we didn't expect to have it upon it in the middle of the thing, like,
the hidden.
and they, like, sink
You
down
because
to the
again, it's that like
cameras,
while getting the paints, it's looking at some wood carvers and be like, can you commission us
Do
these
we know
nameplates?
the measurement so it will completely hide?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm never gonna be
fearsome
that
hippo.
like pedantic as a DM to be like, well, it's only 19 by 12 inches, so sea needs visible. No, yeah.
Okay. Just one. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I know you're not that kind of DM, but sometimes you are.
I only ever try to be pedantic when it's plot relevant.
Oh.
That's a good way. to
Which
put it.
this could be plot relevant.
I know.
Well, but if there's, like, a standard sizing for these things...
Exactly,
that
that's what I'm
makes
saying,
sense.
it's
He already
like,
said it's not a custom boat.
This isn't a custom boat. Like again,
That
not
is true.
not even Ramses is that cool.
He's kind of lame.
So, you want to ask for the hidden hippo?
That was my vote. I heard some argument over the modifiers, but we all agreed on hippo, it sounds like.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I don't...
It's a happy hippo.
Not agreed at all.
And you guys are continually asking and seeking for stuff. So it could be the hungry hippo, right?
I really want
We are not doing this as a bit and then getting
Oh, no.
knocked down because of
See you guys.
I think it's funny. Mason hit me, you guys. He's
The
mean.
hungry hippo.
I'll hit him
I
back.
found a
There we go.
mascot.
Oh my gosh.
You asked for this. You gave us Dreamworks. So
You-
expect us to not
You
be
sicked a hippo on Tulio. What did you expect?
You gave us a talking
We are the
tomato.
hungry hippo.
Okay.
The garden of Eden.
To buy the paints you'll need, you're going to be buying a bit bulk of the reds and blacks, but it's actually, again, not that expensive. In total, including a moniker in woodwork.
We actually have two of them, but yeah. We were gifted the same toys.
It's going to cost, whoever wants to foot the bill, only 8 gold pieces.
How many?
8 gold pieces. But this is getting gallons worth of paint, a fully custom moniker, like, and it looks good, because again,
Can I slip him another silver to do the hungry hippo? I
No,
don't
it's
know what we
hungry,
were
hungry.
playing.
if you want to go for the hungry hippo,
Yes.
because in this
Yes.
world, that's someone would
Yes.
look at that and go, yeah, interesting, I could see it. No one in this world has any knowledge of a Hasbro game
Okay,
of.
so I don't have to slip silver.
You don't even have to pay extra.
You can
If you
tell
want to
we
pay
all
extra
grew
to
up
like,
in the same
hey,
games.
don't tell nobody, like that's always an
Actually,
option.
I might do that. I'll slip him one more piece of gold.
It's very much that like we are
Black market license plate deal.
exactly. I'm trying to keep a straight face. We need the hungry hippo written gold lettering on red background. We need it done in an hour. And hey, here's $100. If you tell anyone, we'll kill you. Like we're the hungry hippo, man. Don't tell nobody.
Don't mess with us.
You have your boat registration?
Because I was gonna say, no matter what name you pick, I was gonna make a pure luck check of like, ooh, what if you had a different name or the name of a boat
Yeah,
nearby?
I don't think
I will. There's no way anyone would ever think of it. What Egyptian, Nubian, anyone on this Nile is going like, what do you want to name our ship after? Well, hippos are named.
hippos, baby.
It's the fact that it's twice too. It's not like because you could see like a hungry hippo, but this is the hungry hippo.
Well, I'm sorry. You tried getting almost eaten by a hippo and see how you feel.
That's true. That's fair. That's fair.
That wasn't us.
It was Tulio.
Tulio,
It was
Bob.
when we split the party
'Cause Bob
because
got
we were waiting for
whacked.
the sleds and we were just the two of us
On the
going.
tiny little raft going
Yes,
up
and then
Jeb-
both
Jeb-
turned
Jeb-
Tulio.
I love that.
died.
We will come back as this part of the party, hungry hippo. We've got the paints. You guys are loading up on the sled. And again, you think your stealth check's doing great. This is a small town. Even if guards have gotten word, you're not bringing attention to yourself. You're doing a lot of the smart things. We cut back. Hunk cooking in the kitchen. just cooking.
Like on the floor.
And it's very much that
We
hungry.
should probably pick up groceries.
This sounds
while
really
we're
bad. I
out.
hope I don't traumatize or trigger anyone by saying this. You're doing that very careful. Every so often, you stop making noise to see if there's noise yet. And it's not like, I am making a lot of noise. I'm sauteing some onions now and right. You bring it off this little fire pit. Still silent.
Mom and Dad still aren't talking.
They're still attacking. I haven't heard the sounds of yelling yet. At least that's
wow,
what starts
yeah, that
it.
is so.
We cut back.
Like,
Moses.
dang, this is real life. Yeah.
Yep.
And you can frame the conversation however you want. You could ask people to leave. You could ask people to stay. Like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go and explain like my side of the story, how I went up to talk to God
In front of the three of them, or just your wife?
in front of all three of them,
For all
and he
three?
just left me.
How long were you on Mount Sinai? Was it
40 days.
That's the 40 days, 40 nights thing. I knew that's what it was in the scriptures, but I was just double checking that.
Yeah.
You see, they will listen. to this. I need you. I want you to give me first a persuasion check.
Okay.
And then this is going to predicate on how we'll kind of role play this out too, because there's a lot you could just say as a player, or like in bringing up this conversation, that could be really cool.
That is a 22.
22. As you bring up a lot of good points, right? Talking about you share this story like I went up to talk to the Lord, like I didn't mean to just abandon people. You watch. I'll say on 22, Malachi's sitting there, and you get the feeling Malachi. Not that Malachi like believes you, but it's almost that like
Like 40
I get
days
it.
is a normal thing in the Bible. Ooh.
was that like, yeah, a prophet's called. Like, yeah, that's your timetable, right? You see though, Joshua and Zipporah still have very questioning looks. Joshua's going to bring up. Do you not remember what happened after?
It's referring to the golden calf, right? Oh yeah, I remember. That was not a good moment.
You see, Zipporah's not gonna talk because she actually, even though she was there, she wasn't there for this specific. Josh was gonna bring up then a bit of the other side. We were waiting. After 20 days, half of the tribes grew restless. After 30, all were in discordance. On the 39th day, the calf was raised. Tribes began splittering then and there. You came down off that mount, Moses, like the thunder of God. You scared them. Why?
Just after everything that they had seen, the Red Sea splitting in half, and they go and abandon God so fast.
Did you never have a time of doubt?
No, I have. But I don't doubt God, Joshua. I doubt who he's called.
I do not doubt the Lord either. But you are not the people. Each soul is precious unto the Lord. Each path is different. I remember being the young man and watching my father and mother smear the lamb's blood on our door to save my life. They had faith, Moses, not in you but in the Lord. I saw my good friends, Hebrews and Egyptians, whose parents did not hold that faith. They spared no blood. faith in you. Would you as a prophet blame their lack of faith on them? Or what you had failed to teach? You see, Joshua's not trying to be like accusatory. He's just bringing in like his side. Like, this is what we all saw. Like, we were waiting on this. We had just escaped, and then this all happened.
So what it sounds like is that the people in Joshua's mind weren't converted unto the Lord so much as they were converted unto Moses.
Yeah.
For the most part, and so.
It's easy to
Yes,
see a
they
man
screwed
perform
up.
miracles and go, wow, he's powerful.
Yeah, so they screwed up in the first place because they had faith in the wrong thing. And then Moses coming down the way he did broke their faith in him. Because
suddenly,
they never had that conversion.
the
unto
powerful
the Lord.
man you've trusted, you see the man performing the miracles, and suddenly
They
he's
lack
angry and
true
ripping
sight.
down your golden calves and it's that very much like they weren't converted to the Lord, so to speak. Like
it's like
they,
when people get converted to missionaries.
again, and I would say it's very much in the D&D sense. They were worshiping Moses, not the God.
Exactly. That sucks.
Which, honestly, now I think about the Bible, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if
That's a
what
really
it
cool
is.
insight, just like
Oh, thank you.
religiously.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I've never
it
thought
would
about
make
it that
a
way.
lot of
Again,
sense.
I don't just watch Shrek and read the Bible. I study them and try to apply them.
Which it still doesn't excuse what
Shrek
they
When you
did,
see-
Shrek is
but it does
When
make them
Shrek
more
said
like,
onions
oh,
were
okay,
layers,
that
what
would
can
make
we
sense.
apply to our daily lives with this?
Oh my god.
But no, Moses is. You see this kind of talk, and again, Zipporah's not saying anything yet, but Joshua, she kind of applies this. I do not blame you
Does
for your
not look
actions,
like it.
Why'd you go over there?
but
Sorry.
a true prophet would have stayed.
Actually, that's a really good nod to how the Bible, Moses did stay, and in this, he didn't. I like that. Good job, August.
Thank you. I'm trying. But yeah.
Dang.
Well, Joshua, the Lord has brought me back. So, let's do what we have to in return and show them who is God.
I'll say no persuasion check needed, but you see Joshua simply nods. Zipporah is going to speak out. And how will you do that? Can you perform a miracle? Do you have power? Now.
I'm just gonna kind of pull the staff up. Just like, I can't. So let's fix that.
See, Malachi kind of speaks up. This could again be solved. Perhaps power needs to be transferred in the garden. You might have been locked out from God. So we shall find this power for you. And as this is talking, Zipporah stands up and she's gonna walk all the way into the kitchen with Hunk.
I'm like on the floor with food on my mouth.
Poe style.
She looks at you.
Rabbit squirrel.
There's a lot of dishes to try out.
May I have the room?
Yeah, where can I go where I can not eat breakfast?
You can go hang out with Bob.
I'm taking a nap.
We'll go take a nap with Bob.
This little
I'm gonna go
the
take a nap with Bob.
listing of the ship that kind of rolls Bob around, like, because that's the thing. The only the sounds that broke the silence of this 3-hour stare off was cooking noises and Bob's little snore rolling across the ship. Just like,
I love that.
I love that.
He's being rocked to sleep.
you see, as Zipporah goes into the kitchen, Hunk immediately walks. I'll say, Hunk, you brought some food with you. Just that, like, oh, okay.
Especially the street.
Joshua looks at you as kind of like nods his head over to her.
Yeah, I go
Uh-oh,
in.
did they get together while you were gone? That would suck so
No.
Zoinks!
Nuh-uh, you didn't do that.
Son of a-
You wouldn't
You'll
do
have
that.
to find out.
You wouldn't
do you
want
wanna go talk?
Oh, he totally
Yeah.
would.
Oh no.
You walk into the kitchen. Zipporah's sitting there. She's just starting to clean up. You're realizing, wow, Hunk really cooked everything. Cast irons out, crock pots out, Dutch oven, like a couple skillets.
The crock pot in 3 hours.
Well, actually, there's a good trick. If you have enough pressure on the pot, it can actually help steam cook some rice a lot faster. Crock pot, like instant crock pot meals are kind of a cool thing. Sorry. But,
I love
an
that.
Instant pot, so I don't have to worry about an instant crock pot.
yeah, right.
You could also just make soup in a crock pot.
Using it, for soups, rice, stews, but you
Rice
see
pudding.
Zipporah is just kind of like absentmindedly kind of
You
cleaning,
do a
kind of
crock
just
pot.
pushing stuff around.
It's like opening cabbage. Wow, you can use that 12-year-old chicken stock.
You hear a loud clatter as a cast iron falls against something, and you turn. Zipporah is just standing; her hands are clenched on the counter, and you see a single droplet has landed below her face.
Oh. Just go up and put my hand on her shoulder.
Kind of flinches a little bit.
Oh, I was gonna say, oh no.
Or is it Sapporo?
Oh, the baby was playing with his crib. Okay.
Just like, gosh. I'm sorry I left.
Are you?
Don't answer that question.
You left Egypt because you were afraid of what you did to that man. You left our tribe to save your people. But why did you leave me? There was no God, no danger. Why was I the one left behind, Moses?
Because you...
You've stumped the theater boy because he does not like confrontation. So
I know.
great job, August. Great job. This is just as fun for me to watch.
I'm
right
so
now.
glad. Everyone's very happy that Mason's uncomfortable. This is
No,
like-
I feel
but-
awful. I'm like, this is
No,
a
yeah.
horrible situation. How do you answer that, huh?
Yeah, how do you answer that?
I have no idea.
No.
He's enjoying the confrontation.
Yeah.
Good
No,
job.
he's enjoying those two boys.
He's like, drama.
You don't answer it and you just start cooking. That's all I do, but
It's like,
Seriously, good luck.
you didn't need to repent like I did.
Okay, that was a good answer.
Good job.
It's like Family Feud. Good answer.
The women are like, okay, okay.
You see Zipporah just kind of... Moses, I've believed in God since I was a little girl. My father taught me these lessons. I know that repentance is a personal journey. But I thought you would trust me enough to have me help you.
I do trust you, but I couldn't take you through that. Put you through that. But God has brought us back together.
God may have brought you here. But I need time to know if God should let you stay.
I understand.
Moses, I have spent months working with Joshua and Aaron to try to help your people, to free them. I didn't know if you were dead or alive. In fact, until Malachi found the scripture, I assumed you were dead, somewhere in the wilderness. We're going to find the garden, We're going to figure out what is going on. And then we'll talk.
I just like to her back and walk out.
She doesn't stop you that time. You walk out. We will cut to our three. I'm gonna say three stooges.
Dude, she's kind of cool. Like that was. No, I'm saying that. Like that was really cool of her to even offer you that much understanding and everything. Like dang.
Nana, Tulio, Elizabeth. You guys, Hunk, you're sitting there chewing on. This was a really good frittata you made. It's not like, hey, you know, quail eggs work really well, I guess, for like breakfast. And look up and see your three friends approaching.
I have a feeling really quick that Sephora and Moses work things out. It's gonna give similar vibes to John Smith and Pocahontas. It's going to be. It's gonna be more.
John Smith and Pocahontas were that we love each other and we were both
I know.
separated and know why.
Oh, I know. But I'm saying, like, there's gonna be more like, okay, and now August and Mason are going to be
Fade to
flirting and
black
we're gonna be like,
every
drama.
night. Hey, how you want to spend this long rest?
I really hope not. I feel like she would have brought it up then.
No.
I
No
think
place
she
for
would
that.
have.
You never know.
You horny bastard.
Hunk, I will say, Bob the Tomato, go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
Me too.
Don't fail at this time.
No, just Bob, because Bob was doing the full long range. Like the way Bob got out of all this is like, I'm just sleeping, and then just like decide to
Smart call.
peace
His
out.
coping mechanism is I'm gonna go to sleep.
No,
Did you get another that one?
that was a nat 1.
On a nat one, something actually bad
Wait,
might happen.
no, I think that's a 3 plus.
Plus a 1, so his modifier's a 1.
Yeah, it's a 3 plus.
Oh,
So it's not a nat 1.
I was so worried, man.
That's still a failure.
So you don't get the benefits.
That is, I'm checking.
I'm
Yeah,
worried that things are gonna
Bob,
start compounding. Is the problem?
you will take a point of exhaustion. As in 2 days you have not gotten rest.
However,
You have
he
been.
did get to miss the confrontation.
Yeah, that's the true benefit.
Yeah.
People that,
That's fair.
who really took the point of exhaustion? Me
gotta
or the people that
fix
took
the
part in
sleep.
it?
Yeah, Moses, Zipporah, Joshua, and Malachi. I'll take 2 points of exhaustion. No.
We gotta fix this thing.
Yeah, this is a problem. If we
But
had
Bob,
that,
you can
Kelly.
not take a long rest.
I have a very, like...
You want to spoon the potato, or the tomato,
What?
No, I was thinking, like, if we, like, needed something, like, to knock him out and, like, put him into a deep rest, would that give him a benefit?
Fun fact, he still might have nightmares.
Because like I get bad dreams when I take medicine to help me sleep. So
It's
I didn't say medicine. I think it was more the size of can't dream when we give you a heavy rain
Benadryl!
listen, the best kind of sleep is a concussion sleep. You don't remember nothing. What I would say though, Bob, you wake up so unrested as you had dreams of parents fighting and like you were being cooked into like some egg cheese mixture, and wake up and see Hunk is like literally eating a full caprese salad and just like. And full of the Rings vibes, you see the trickle of juice run out of Hunk's mouth.
oh
Caprese
no.
salads are so messy, actually. I don't know if you guys know this. Like, they can get
Never
messy.
had one.
So, Hunk, you're just like eating, and Bob wakes up right when you just eat a tomato.
Fun fact, Lord of the Rings, that scene tanked the stock of tomato
love it.
chips.
I know.
So
I feel like that's fair
Cheerios.
because that was such a perfectly done, like the
God.
music and the singing and the cinematography.
disturbing
It was so
Um,
perfectly.
So,
Oh my
Moses, Bob, and Hunk, you now have this nameplate. Yeah, party. How would you introduce to the rest of the party? What's the name of the ship now?
We are the hungry hippos.
Great, so is Hunk. He ate everything on the ship.
I
thought
would
I
say
told
that
you to
we
like
did-
being called a hippo.
So the thing is, we are going on a voyage. So I would have gotten supplies too, so we can take that out of my.
Marked out another 10 gold. That could
Okay.
easily stock the ship for a week. Gosh, yeah. Nothing was right. They're just like, I told you that in confidence. Like, don't fuck that up.
That was my childhood.
Listen, you guys, now moniker, kind of, it takes,
I feel
I
like
will
that's gonna
say,
be our group soon. Just
before the rest of you guys can long rest, it's that quick dragging onto shore of this raft, doing the paint job, drying off, getting everything, and letting it dry throughout the night, banked here on the Nile. Besides Bob, can the rest of the group then make me a Constitution saving throw?
Let's see what happens.
This is after I woke up.
Exactly.
Can I try again?
Unfortunately, no. So, fun fact, part of D&D rules is you're not allowed to take a long rest within the same, like,
Crap.
16-hour time rest, because, like, you could break the game that way.
That's okay.
Imagine, like, we're gonna long rest, fly to battle, long rest,
Well, because
and then
that's
move
what we
10
did with Ryan.
Okay,
So we
The
found a way
D&D
to
die
make
was
that.
actually cocked. Like, it shows it
Still,
cocked. Can I? I'm
I'm
just
going
gonna
to
roll it.
a different
Here we go.
plane. We had only
That is also cocked.
18?
Past that
Solid.
But again, it's because like that was our
well,
workaround. We had
That's how you
like,
did the workarounds. Like, well, technically, we're spending many hours here.
plus
uh,
6. Okay.
Elizabeth and Moses, what
That's
you
a nat 20 plus 6.
I got distracted by baby. What am I rolling?
con save. It's that we are now at a point where the party can try to long rest. Like, we've painted the ship, or letting it dry before we paint it in the morning, all that stuff. Moses, what you get?
I got 19.
19, solid stuff.
Okay, well at least that was a 10. Let's see what I can
Stop salmoning me.
modify it as.
Damn it.
You said it was a con save?
My
Con
sister
save.
used to do
So
that. at
14.
church.
Do what?
14.
So you can go between their legs.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hate
But you do that to like.
Did I pass?
The
Or is this as a
YMCA.
group?
14
And
will
girls and
pass.
Swiss. My sister's a weirdo. I love her.
16.
She's so
Uh,
funny.
Fun fact, everyone but Bob passes.
Oh.
Bob, it's getting worse. Like,
Yeah,
there's
it's
something
been a few days since I
about
You're
your
looking
nightmares.
a little unripe. Are you okay?
It's. Have you ever seen a shriveled tomato? Like, you're starting to get sun dried, my friend. Like,
Hunk is like trying not to drool.
you're really
I
good on
love
pizza.
sun-dried tomatoes.
Oh my
Actually,
gosh.
yes.
Hey, don't look at him like he's a piece of fruit.
I wasn't. I wasn't looking at him. I was looking at the ocean.
No, I was looking at the ocean. Indeed.
River, ocean.
The rest of the party, you guys sleep, can take the full benefits of long rest. Bob, you awaken again. It's getting bad.
Wow.
As you all awaken, you realize as you awaken, Joshua has been the first one up, and he has already started like painting and sanding the ship to prime it, and finishing
What a
ready
good
before
guy,
you guys
Joshua.
go. Are you all ready?
Yep.
Ready as I'll ever be.
Excellent. He's gonna toss buckets of paint to a couple of you. Begin painting. We need to leave soon. And within just a few hours of this morning prep of quick breakfast, finishing the ship, letting it dry, you guys push off into the Nile once more and can begin traveling.
What are you trying to get, buddy?
Listen,
Mommy's toys.
8. For the group, I will say that is where we're going to take our break for this session.
So now that we're
So,
on break.
th- welcome back as we come in to this session once
We'll
more.
knock on the door in 5 minutes and ask if she needs to wake up.
It is the morning of the 5th day of the 2nd month of the year. The hungry hippo in all its red glory has pushed off into the Nile. I'll let you know I'm going to build this raft miniature and paint it like the hungry hippo.
Yes, please.
Because nothing sounds better than an Egyptian raft because usually they've got the Eye of Horus, on the sides, these beautiful, but it's just going to be this giant cartoonish little eye and like little gap tooth on the front.
I'm so excited for this.
I'm building this ship.
For this.
Yes.
As you guys head off, Malachi is reviewing scripture. Azure is a city in the Mediterranean. We'll have to make it up there on your guidance, Tomato. But I'm not sure. I cannot find anything that would connect this city to this garden. As far as I can tell in this book, we are looking at a garden that cannot be found. It is protected by something. We know that, but you see, he shows you the word in Celestial. It is protected by protector is the closest word. And so it's not like, well, gee, thanks for the descriptor. It's like, I'm going to guard you. Who are you? The guardian. I don't know. It's like, it's that level. Like, kind of, just because, again, Malachi is noting you and Moses are really the only ones that like can read and comprehend the Celestial.
Does it say anything about where the garden is?
That's what he's been looking up on.
Okay.
I've been having him make checks.
When we get back to the city, Azure, can I make like further checks to like see? Okay, I came into this city for this one. I should go back to the
Yes. We can find, you see, because we will need to spend time in Azure and find out where this garden is or if a path does indeed exist to here. And you see, as he's saying that, Joshua and we need to start planning our assault on Egypt.
What? If we're gonna like be on this boat with them for at least a couple of days, and again, this is a religious group that obviously has like scrolls and texts and things, can we feel out like, do they have any predictions about the end of the world of like stuff that would help us know what to be worried about? That's a good point. Because also Julia's got whole feeling like, okay, if you guys know so much about gods and things, do you know that it's the end of the world? I know, because it's like, but it's also that very logical, like, more than what if man wants, it's like, well, if they do have any sort of predictions or anything, it's that like,
Go ahead and ask.
I also have another thought.
Yeah.
I'm a dragon and I'm constantly trying to build my boat. I would like to charge them to use our boat.
I love that.
They're the ones who made us build the boat in the first
I
place.
freaking love
If
that.
we have claimed this boat as our own, they are traveling with us, they need to pay up.
Okay, but
Make me a
like,
persuasion
it's not just your boat, so like you can't like unilaterally.
That's
You
fine.
gotta split. Well, no, but it's not. I don't think any of the rest of us are going to be like, let's charge them, because it's very much not
I think
like.
no. Go ahead and make me a persuasion check. I think that's something you can totally do.
Remember, dragon. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. No, that's why. Yeah, make the check. Let's see what happens.
I'm a little nervous about this check, but dragon.
What did you
You're
do?
gonna roast it so bad.
Oh my gosh, I cannot roll.
Do you want to roll a real die? Do you want to roll a real die?
If I roll a real die, gives
I'll
me
let you
better.
roll real die.
I have tried.
Let's see what happens.
I've tried big
Let's see
die.
what
I've
happens.
tried everything today.
Go for it.
Well, it's a 5 plus 4. That's better. It's a 9.
You
Oh my
go
gosh.
up, talk about charging, and you see then Joseph.
Joshua.
Why am I doing
Let's
this?
plant another one and use my Josiah.
Stop! I've been so worried I'm gonna say that one. Jethro, Jebediah, Hosea, like every name. Joshua looks at you as you say, I only offer a tithe for the Lord. Malachi, I don't carry cash. Zipporah, excellent. And you can charge me for the medical bills when you knock me out. So I'm going to be needing money from you, so how about we call it even?
Wait, but you just healed naturally. There were no medical bills.
Oh, my neck. Ow. Oh, my neck.
Nice try.
Oh.
Okay, I like her.
Yeah, it's not like, sure, we'll pay when you pay. Like, it's not like, we're not gonna just give money.
So did we get any information about the other one?
How would you ask? So I think that's a role play. Like, you guys can ask as you all start sailing further north up the Nile.
I think I awkwardly look around at everybody because, again, Angel was a big thing. It's okay.
Yeah.
So has your guy told you guys anything about the whole, hey, I'm destroying the world, have fun?
Malachi looks not confused, but just like unsure of what to say. Zipporah doesn't answer, but you see Joshua. Yes, were you two visited by Gabriel?
Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know Gabriel too, son.
Yes.
Did he tell you anything more specific than he told us? Because we got nothing helpful.
This is why I was called to be the next prophet.
To halt the end of the world?
I'm unsure.
Are you kidding? You don't know what your job is as prophet, and yet you want to kick him out so bad?
Yes, I have faith that the Lord will reveal my calling when I'm the prophet.
Oh.
You
Okay.
guys are so weird.
No, to be fair, that's more than we've got to go on, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a thing to do,
Yeah, it
and then
is.
theoretically
It's
maybe.
true.
Yeah, I see it.
I mean, okay, as Hannah, I totally understand.
But as
Right,
a,
as Elizabeth,
you're just going on this?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I feel like even as us, though, in the world building, I'm like, okay, but no, there's a specific thing for you to do, and then maybe you might get something about it. Okay, that's better than us, where we're given, nothing.
Do you know anything about the paint in Egypt?
Oh, yeah, the anti-magic field stuff?
Zipporah, the tear of Nephisis is a dangerous artifact.
Yes.
As far as our sources and spies in Egypt have found, Pharaoh discovered this artifact after he chased us to the Red Sea. Since then, they have begun grinding it and indeed using its power and spreading it along artificial ley lines in the city to give it both its aquatic nature and, we believe, he hopes one day to preserve the city in a perfect anti-magical field.
Speaking of Pharaoh's magical crap, and I'm looking specifically at Joshua, did that Gideon, Gabriel, whatever his name, did he tell you about the magic sword pieces that fell from the sky?
Magic swords?
That was there's pieces of this magic sword. That was what he's the reason we went to Egypt, because Pharaoh stuck it on the end of his Kobesh thing, and that's why he's insanely magical now. So if we can get that away from him. And,
I've
break
not
the
heard
sword.
of this.
Did you not see something fall from the sky the night the moon turned to blood?
No, I was in prayer and heading to sleep.
Wow.
Thus,
You guys
Gabriel
are so
visited in my dream.
Oh.
Okay.
We actually got this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he came to us in person.
I don't recommend
Also,
it.
going to dude's body and just killed him so he didn't
Yes.
have a meat suit, that was rude.
Yeah, we had dead body. That was not fun.
It's okay.
We
he
fed
let
it
it
to
go.
a worm.
Joshua's gonna lean into Moses, and just for you to hear, why do you travel with a group so uninspired by the miracles of God?
Do I hear that or no?
I think, yes, because Bob, you're writing on his shoulder. And he would, because it's you two are the ones that speak celestial, seem holier.
You are the only
If I was not
religious in our
included
party.
in that,
And you get the meaning of, these people have seen a real angel? And, nothing?
Well, you got the fear, but
Well, but,
nothing else at
In
this
our
point.
defense, the
It's...
Hebrews saw him part the waters. And do
I know.
miracles.
It's just too funny where Joshua's like, are you sure this is the group you want to be with? Are you good?
Hey, it's the group God wanted to be together.
Fair enough. Joshua leans back, and you see it kind of goes back to the edge of the ship and does that very, oddly cool silhouette where he hangs on the rope and just is staring off north into the Nile.
Anyway, my point was just now they have information of if their whole thing is we need to go back regroup and stuff, at least they know there's this magic sword
I
that
will say-
is a problem.
I feel like
Zipporah's-
Joshua's that really big, handsome man in all the movies who has no real personality. He's just there for.
I feel like Joshua is one of August's favorite NPCs. He keeps describing him in all these very favorable terms and everything.
Mean. No, I would just say it's more that
He's like, I modeled him after.
it's more that because not that Moses isn't attractive or muscular, it's that this is weird to be if these are both prophets and yet they're vastly different, right? Both of them, their personalities, their styles, it's one of those things I think for everyone. It's that looking from like Joshua to Moses, it's that there's no common theme right now of like, okay, you're a prophet, so is he, but like
Joshua is quite
you don't look
dry.
related, you don't act the same, you don't even have the same theological approaches for the most part. It's that very.
A little bit like Zank.
It's a very Zankish. I'm not trying to play the Zank.
Walking straight. Is he gonna go around the rock? No.
Oh,
Right
he's not-
over it.
Yeah.
Is he gonna go? Oh no, he parted the waters.
You hear the bit about why
Yeah, you couldn't hear them say,
Didn't hear
stop,
them.
you're good.
Uh,
I love that.
as you're traveling, though, Zipporah's gonna offer a little bit to you guys. We've been working for these past many months to try to figure out how to free the Israelites and Hebrews.
That makes sense.
As far as we can tell, the two biggest problems are manpower and willpower. We do not have nearly the right amount of power to combat Pharaoh and his magic, which we've heard
And
of,
their
which
spirits are broken.
and the people's spirits, those that exist in the city, do not believe they're worth saving anymore. It is a problem. We have heard of many different ways and ideas to combat this, of items to use, whether we could somehow steal the tier, but of course that is, even though it may not be the most heavily guarded, as far as Aaron was able to confirm to us, it would be quite impossible to lift the grindstone off of the tier to grab it. For the rest of the city, we have heard rumors of items that could be used, but nothing that we could find, and so we are trying to ordain Joshua a full prophet to then have some form of power to combat the Pharaoh's armies.
So I have a question. Is your godly power different than magic in the sense of like magic?
To a certain extent, you see Malachi will actually answer this one.
Where didn't we see them casting spells?
Malachi, as far as I can understand, magic comes from many different fonts in the world. We know, though, that to an extent that magic from a god, that we believe coming from the Lord, is one of very direct line of contact. Most magic is changed and passed by hand to hand. The forces of nature pass it on to the herbs that are then burned, that are then crafted, that are then changed arcanely by a mage. We believe that magic from a prophet is, or magic from a god in a more direct line is something that can give a more direct route, for the most part.
So a more direct route means a better chance of it working. Is that what you're saying?
But you see that Joshua, kind of from the edge of the boat, but not assured. We've noticed magic can fail in a raw, untapped form if not prepared. Malachi will show you, he has under his robe a necklace of a few key gemstones that all look to be very clear white right now. If given time, I can prepare these into spells, which I was able to use, but it took me months to prepare even the 3 we had to break into the city. I couldn't assuredly make these ready by the time we would need them.
Okay, so Nana's been zoning out and thinking a little bit about the anti-magic, and they're discussing magic and everything. The tiered Nephthys is clearly magical, meaning that even when Pharaoh does complete the anti-magic field around the city, at least the immediate vicinity of the tiered Nephthys is not going to be mitigating that power, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, the city of Egypt is also floating down along the Nile. It is moving. So, my question is, this is, and I was also probably thinking of Dungeons & Dragons movie as well as I was thinking all this,
You're good.
but Dimension Door. A creature who casts it can then take another creature of equal or smaller size with them, yes?
Mhm.
So, Dimension Door cannot move. However, if the city is moving, then potentially could someone cast Dimension Door and just be holding the Tier of Nephthys, and as the city moves through the door, could then the gem and the person holding it travel through Dimension Door onto the, like, go out onto a raft somewhere else?
Shenanigans.
Or does the dimension door stay in the same spot?
But that's what I'm saying. It can stay in the same spot according to the earth or the bottom of the river, and the city moves through that.
But what about
That's what I'm trying to
the
say.
turning of the earth in general with that?
Yes,
Fun
but
fact,
we
so
have-
Dimension Door, though, is a very specific part of the spell. It is not a true doorway. Dimension Door more or less acts as a teleportation of
Right.
a doorway would open that you can walk through, and it does have to be instantaneous. It only lasts a few seconds. It wouldn't last long enough, even if you
Okay,
were
buddy.
to
But if
angle
you
it.
can
Hear me
move
out,
the
hear me
city
out.
fast enough.
No. Hear me out. Because you mentioned the D&D movie, if you could, like, be grabbing the stone and cast, like, Dimension Door under you and, like, fall through it with the stone, like, would that work?
Possibly.
So
Could do that.
I'm just saying because I'm like, okay, so if we can't physically lift the grindstone, magic, because magic still has to be possible in the immediate vicinity, or else Pharaoh's plan sinks to the bottom of the river.
Didn't I try magic right there though?
But you
did.
weren't right at the stone.
He was in the grind.
Basically,
So-
You were right, and it didn't work.
it's whereas that could work. You could get to the point though that while the stone couldn't lose its magic power, which I'll say there might be something there.
With the stone
it's-
itself, yeah.
The stone itself isn't losing power, but it is causing this anti-magic ley line as Mason just gets forcibly deep-throated by a straw over there.
Or we just come back with, what, like a +3 magic weapon with people to look at the artifact?
I mean, if you find artifact, I guess maybe, yeah, it's that artifacts don't lose power.
I'm sorry.
If we find an artifact that's just for the last of this artifact, then we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's true.
Or, well, because, like, what actually is capable of destroying something like this? Because I don't know if, like, I'm trying to remember what level the dragon orb was. Because we were even here when it happened, and we're like, because I've got a +2 magic dagger that just isn't technically magical right now, but if we can fix that.
Did we find
Or-
a shatter spell scroll?
Well, shatter only works on non-magical objects.
True, that's right.
I remember that so well now. But the thing is, with the dragon orb and everything, that and the cauldron were on equal playing field,
Yeah.
right?
So
They were both
artifacts,
considered
but
artifacts. Yeah,
But
they
the
were
cauldron
so
was
rare.
Cauldron, you
basically
had to do a
indestructible.
very
Aren't those the
specific-
only two items we found in D&D, like Disney D&D, that were artifacts? Yeah. So they're
Well,
so
because, like,
so
some of
rare.
the Star Wars artifacts, weren't they?
Not to the same level though.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So artifacts are
I still
are
think
so
nothing
the
was
highest.
better than you and Sam maybe with
That
that
was
Cauldron
awesome.
and their God one shot.
I
Yeah,
have
that
to
was
say,
fun.
August, if you ever want to do another God one shot, I feel like we've
I've
done.
been planning out.
That was so
You
fun.
know, Mama,
What I would
Okay.
say though,
So it's that different artifacts could have different rules.
Exactly.
different artifacts, different rules.
So then what I'm wondering is the things that fell from the sky, the bits of that sword, would that be considered artifact level? Would Pharaoh's freaking sword
That would probably destroy
potentially be key to dislodging the stone and everything, or mitigating it, or something like that?
I'll say, and then Malachi would jump in this like thought. So all we have to do is just take the Pharaoh's
I
sword
love
from him.
this. This is very much a
You have to mess around the seas.
We tried.
I love that.
He killed Moses 7 times in 7 seconds. He just this neck, and then he brought them back, and he's psychopathic.
I have touched the stone, the sword,
Sorry,
but he snatched it right back. So I mean, it's possible to touch it.
So it's it's possible to touch it, but it's like, would he just snatch it back? What's the goal then here? What I would ask then is, what artifacts do you guys know about?
Artifacts. Do we all need to like roll history
used to
checks with like what have we all heard
My
about?
staff's an artifact, right?
I will actually re-look it up. I think your
Are you
staff
saying
is
it's-
technically a legendary.
Oh,
So it's a legendary item, not an artifact.
It's
Okay.
almost like, not in a bad way, but Moses, your staff is something that could be given or remade. Artifacts are that very specific. It's hard to just.
Artifact.
I love that.
It is an artifact. Oh, right. But it is not working right now. That's right.
You have a freaking artifact that's just sleeping?
Yes.
So,
There's a worthiness factor thing.
Yeah, here we go, gang.
Why are you so
Uh,
cute?
Does
I would say work out your marriage problems, and maybe then you'll be worthy.
the party want to make a
Okay, that's
Yes.
group history check? What artifacts do we know about in life?
History check, right?
Yes.
I mean,
If I do
of us probably
regarding
have some
stones,
artifacts.
can I get double proficiency? I have no proficiency. I have a +0 to history. I'm begging.
Well, I got 15.
On my -1, I got a 16.
16, 15.
Can I have double
16.
proficiency if it's related to
I
stones?
got a rock.
Unfortunately, no,
I
because
got
there's
it
only
right.
one stone, you know.
All
6,
right.
okay. Yes, it's a stone.
I got a 6.
Me too.
2 6s, 2 16s, a 15, and 5.
Well, I think we know.
Let me pull up my notes.
know the natural 3, guys.
I almost made a Percy Jackson joke about rocks, but now I will. We know schist.
You don't know shit.
I'm sorry. When Percy went all dad mode on it,
Here we
he's
go.
like, what did you say?
Artifacts that you might know of. Well, obviously the Tier of Nephthys is there. In terms of stuff, Hunk, you got a 15 or 16? 16. That's where we're going.
I'll take
Good job, Hunk.
I rolled a 17.
Wait, did you get the highest in them?
Did I?
There, yeah, Bob.
Air 5.
Bob, I will get to you in a second. There's stuff you might think of here. For Hunk, if you're thinking artifact level, something basically indestructible, super insanely rare, there's something that comes to mind. A very specific weapon / vehicle, but where is it? What planet? What plane? What area? Like, who knows where this
I
is?
just wanted to say that if
My
we
vehicle,
need magical
specifically.
items,
Or any of them,
I
really.
do have
Do I
a
know where
word,
the
and we could go search
You
for
got
more.
blasted out of it, right? When everything kind of, when everything went down again, very end of season 1. Like,
Okay, yes.
oh no, everything's going, and this is where you woke up. So it's like,
I have
need to
a
go
ring,
find it.
yeah,
and it does magical.
Text- your
and
text
it
not
gives
working.
me other.
Mine's not
yeah,
Because I wondered where my friends are.
exactly. It's like, where would this be? For Bomb, as again, Hunk, you're thinking that's an option, but that's very unclear. On a 16 Bob, there's items spoken about in the Bible. Or, well, okay, I shouldn't say about, but you have this, like, ingrained, pun intended, knowledge of items that have been used. And I think maybe looking at Moses' staff is that, like, yeah, a prophet's staff is something very artifact level-y. There's something else, though, that's there but not there. And you have to wonder, is this part of that memory thing you've got going on? Or rather, that, like, knowledge gap of what items do I know about?
Yeah.
I'll let you know as a player, you might be able to, as a person, think of some items. But it will just be that, like, if you want to say Bob could also think of it. I always allow, if you can think of it, your character can. And so that's where I'm leaving it up to. If you can think of, like, maybe some of these items that exist. Yeah, right? Like, that would be a
Really
big
quick,
one.
what kind of lore would you let me, like, as Nana, get to know? Like, things that happen in Madagascar. I assume the Tabaxi Wars happened in Madagascar. I guess it
That was
never-
actually the lower half continent of Africa.
Oh, okay. Did I ever go to
Madagascar.
Madagascar?
No.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, most of the stuff was you were in Africa
Yeah, that's
or
fair.
back in the world. Yeah.
So then, I respect the rule if you can think of then your character can. But like, what movies would you allow Nana to have more, like, basic knowledge of? Because I don't want to be thinking of a movie that Nana definitely has nothing to do
I
with.
will say again, unless it becomes so metagamey of like I've seen this random Dreamworks movie level,
Okay.
it's something that like if in the bounds of the world, but it's like oh I thought it was something that could be applicable, I might allow it.
Okay, because the only thing I could think of and feel like Nana might know of it is Excalibur, because she would know weapons. And so she, of
Yeah.
course, would hear about legendary weapons like that, but I have no idea, so I guess I'll say
That weapon though is truly different. There's a difference between like I've heard of these items versus like Excalibur is the equivalency of saying like, oh yeah, there's a really good sword that could exist.
No, that's fair. Honestly, we're grasping at straws. I feel like that's one that she would grasp at.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing
Grasp
that
these
Nana
straws.
could potentially contribute, I think.
Yeah. For the rest of the party, again, you guys can think. There's a lot that could be, but it is that right now, at least for Zipporah, Joshua, and Malachi, their goal is, hey, if we can make it to this garden place, transfer the power, Joshua will be a full prophet. He's willing to go in and lead, and that should fix the prophet gap, right? For lack of a better term.
Yep.
And I will say, of course, we've yet to even get to Moses. Do you want to do lose. Yeah, like, I mean, this is more just like, this is their goal. But that's kind of this goal of like, hey, we know that like, in theory, a prophet's power should be direct enough that that magic should be unadulterated and unmolested, unchanged, right? Like,
I say we go to the garden, we meet my veggie friends, and then we dip these two in.
And then we can take your wife with us if you want.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Hey, what weapon?
What? Oh.
oh, he made a dig at marriage. No, I'm kidding. No, Bob, you say that Zipporah in the kitchen just like slams a meat cleaver down.
Careful, or you'll end up in a salad.
Listen, man, she makes a mean salad. For the most part, as you guys start heading off down the Nile, the weather becoming much more
Oh, sorry, that's not a game.
tempered here. That it's no longer as terribly hot. You are starting to feel that like the cool breeze of the sea coming in, and eventually, I will say, we are about to reach the beginnings of the delta towards the Mediterranean itself. Did you have a question or
I just
comment?
have metagaming things that it won't change how
Okay.
I play. But I'm very curious
Yeah.
because we know Cherubim or whatever has
Yeah.
a sword.
Yeah.
And now I'm wondering, what if that's the same dang thing? It's Excalibur, and instead of Lady in the Lake, it's apparently Cherubim. And everything, I'm just like, oh my gosh, if August pulls that crap, that's insane.
Angel Flaming Sword, yeah, who knows?
But anyway, so I was just like getting excited because I'm curious to see how you crafted this world. But
Indeed.
it won't change
Um,
how I play Nana.
What I will say, Tulio, after the long rest, did you want to take the water vehicle proficiency?
Yes, I did.
Alrighty.
Nice.
So my 2 proficiencies that I can get extra right now are I'm keeping explosives, but just making sure I've got sailing for the other one.
Yes. So,
That is so
Tulio, after a day of rough sailing, fighting your way out of Egypt, you're not actually pretty good sailor. Again, it's actually, and that's how some people do learn. Is that like, I learned on the job
Trial
and
by
I'm
fire.
ready.
I mean, that's how Hiccup learned to fly with you.
Exactly.
Sir.
So, Tulio, you sail the ship, no problem. I'm not going to make any checks until we get into rough weather, waters, or combat, basically. For everyone else, we do have a ways to go. Let me quickly pull up my notes.
Did you have a traumatic experience, William? You sounded very upset.
Yes. Going at a good pace. This is going to be about a 2-day journey. That in 2 days you should be, in theory, at the city of Azure. During which time, though, there is time to, if anyone wants to prep anything or ask any other questions amongst like NPCs or each other. Would
Yeah, can I try to get 2 long rests?
I will say you can roll 1.
Okay, can I pray beforehand?
Yeah. But make a
Nice solid sleep.
let's make a religion check.
Straight up, actually.
Pray for a good night's sleep.
Been there.
Can we make him a comfy tomato bed so he's not rolling
That's
around?
that one.
On
You
prayer?
guys, I think you're having a good prayer that, Bob, we made you a bed, and you look, and your friends have made you a solid bowl to sleep in. Like, and like, it's like we didn't have any real bedding, so we used lettuce leaves, and so it's not like you get a nat 1 because your prayer just stops dead in its tracks of like,
They're putting me in a salad.
they're gonna eat me. It's
We tried hard.
Okay, then can I still make the con?
can't make the Constitution saving throw.
We meant well, but we're idiots.
You.
That's a 6.
Oh, are you
A 6?
Nick!
Bob, the tomato.
Are you
It's
gonna
dropped
die of this
again.
exhaustion?
It's so low now, but that's another point of exhaustion.
Okay.
Shoot, what does that mean now?
That's 2 points of exhaustion, meaning you will have disadvantage on all ability checks, and your walking speed's now halved.
And I already don't walk
already to walk.
Well, I guess it's good
You
thing
have
we got pockets.
basically 7 feet of walking speed around.
And we don't have a cleric, so we can't just like.
Bob's the
restore
cleric. Well, to an
it.
extent.
Well,
Can
third
I-
bard.
On the second day, can I try again?
I will say this: we're not going to do that yet because I would like a group. We're going to call this a survival check.
William, wee.
Survival?
Yeah,
That was a fishy.
group survival.
Wow, I'm rolling amazing today. That's a 19.
Oh yeah.
Can I have your rules, please?
I started out rolling solid.
I rolled so bad. That's a 9.
Last session I rolled like crap.
You guys, I have a +5 to
All right.
survival. I rolled
Joshua
so
also
bad.
got 19. Zipporah got 11. Malachi got a 1.
I got a 10.
10.
17.
17. Super good. Nana?
I rolled really
I
well
got
on
a
my
9.
A 9. Yikes. Hunk, what you get?
14.
14. Bob?
That one?
That's 2 nat ones.
What
Malachi
the
got a
heck?
1 as
What's
well.
your dice?
Yeah, I just got my dice.
Okay, good.
Well, I should say, because, yeah, I mean, you have disadvantage. Like, life is rough for you right now. You're exhausted. 2 points of exhaustion. And a 10 from Elizabeth.
He's so cute.
As you all go off. Wait. Sorry, real quick.
Say that, and then he has like the grossest.
Elizabeth,
diaper
you
and
got
all the
a
things of
10,
activity
correct?
Good job.
Hannah was 10 you got?
Yep.
Yep. So, Nick got a natural 1. Tulio a 17. Megan?
Yeah,
Tulio?
she got
17.
Excuse me.
And Hunk got a
14.
14. Moses got a 19.
Fine. I mean, it's empty.
And
9.
a 9.
Is there one of us that if Tulio gives guidance, we might be able to make
I
it?
already.
I-
Alright,
Oh,
August, I just
my
rolled to
God,
see what would
it's
happen. So don't count what
Yeah.
I just got, but that was a dirty 20 with my electric dice. If I had decided to use it.
We
I
are
did
going.
use electric. If I had not used electric,
I know, I'm just like not rolling well enough.
it would have been not 1. Never mind.
Yeah.
It was good.
I will let you all know, including your
You still might use
NPCs,
water bottle. Can you give it back to
you
her?
are dead even,
Oh.
but with 2 natural 1s. That will bring us below.
It's a great fight again.
Dang it, we're screwed.
As you start sailing, eventually you watch the Nile begins opening more and more into this delta.
I might be able to change something. I can't
Okay.
remember. My subclass may allow me to change something.
Okay. We'll check it.
Okay, heroic moment. Okay, acrobatics. Nope. That's about jumping. Athletics check. No. Plucky endurance. When failing a saving throw, give yourself +5 to that saving throw. Would
This
you
is
allow?
saving throw, not
That's
a check.
true.
Check, not a saving throw.
Dang it! That's fine.
Very close.
Dang.
I will allow this. The lowest right now out of the group that still could succeed, I believe, is Hannah for Elizabeth's 10.
Didn't Bob get a nat 1?
Well, but
But I'm not
what
gonna
I'm about to
succeed
say,
no matter
yeah,
what.
like even nat one's like that is a failure. Well, because again, Bob is having the worst days of his life, trying to sleep, getting his power back.
Okay.
Um,
Sounds like you have a new baby out
what I will say is this. Oh no, never mind, because Bob hasn't long rested. You have your bardics back.
That's true.
Never mind. So what's about to happen will happen.
That sucks. Dang, I wish we had Kelly.
As you are all sailing, the Nile is opening up. You see off in the distance, the ocean has started to expand. The salty water air starting to brine your nostrils. That different wildlife start emerging, like seagull, the flora and fauna changing along the banks from this muddy reed to more softer sandy beaches. Azure is a day away. That's a full day where anything could happen. I'll allow you all to decide. Do you want to play it safe, or do you want to try to go fast?
I would say let's maybe play it safe.
And see, the way that Bob's rolling and the way that
Yeah.
I'm rolling, yeah.
Oh, I was just saying, even like not metagaming, but Bob is in crappy condition. Like, we thought that he looked like a sun-dried tomato yesterday. Now he looks like a freaking raisin if he were a grape.
Bob's starting to rot. It's that like, oh, buddy.
It's bad. So I think we would rather play a save plus. I don't think we're in a particular rush.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you have to would you have to have 2 full rests? Like,
A long rest.
Full rest for
Yeah, each long
exhaustion
rest only
point.
gets rid of 1 point of exhaustion.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Here we go. I will do this. If you guys want to play it safe, I will roll 2d100 and allow you to pick.
Okay.
Do we want the high or the low?
I won't tell you that, but
Megan. Hey, Megan, do you think we want the high or the low? For a D100?
the first one I've just rolled is a 91.
That's either really fantastic or really
The
not.
second roll is an 85.
They're not that much different, are they?
No, they're not. So do you think we want the higher or we want the lower? Because he'll let us choose because we're playing it safe.
But he won't tell us whether high or low is good or bad.
Yeah. So
I'd rather go
I would say go for the
I say
lower
go
one.
big or go home.
Okay.
Big girl home?
I'm with the high.
Big girl home?
Okay, 91.
Well,
I
it
guess.
sounds like most of them were saying low. So far, I'm the only one I heard saying
I
high.
would go high.
Yeah, the two of us.
85 or 91?
Anna and I are voting 91.
They're not that different.
91, 91.
And
Either
that's
way
kind of why I'm
works,
thinking
yeah.
it's not that different, so we may as well.
Yeah.
Like, go for that.
91, 91, 91.
Because it could be good for us or good
Oh,
for
no,
us.
we're
Marissa, high or low?
He's smiling.
Marissa says high.
Either way. High? Okay, 91 it is.
Right.
We are so screwed.
Okay. I forgot I made this. So, sometimes I forget about the encounters I've made for my tables.
Oh, so it's not like a severity thing, it's just what encounter could we have.
Oh.
It could be based on severity.
91 hippos.
That would be hilarious.
91 hippo. I'm
Oh,
changing
yourself
right
out,
now.
you hungry hippo?
We have been offended by the hippo god,
I
Tarawet.
was gonna say we just see each other.
I
Okay, but
really
seriously,
wish I had included that in my
Tarawet
notes. That would have been
sounds awful. Can you
so much
imagine
more fun
being
than this.
Pregnant
I mean,
for
not that.
eternity? Like, I can't believe that they have a god that's just never not pregnant. Like, oh.
I need to get used to the hormones.
As you are passing into the Mediterranean, all of you feel the ship starts rocking more. On the Nile, it's more or less smooth sail. It's just very like placid, kind of not slow, but we're just putting along. Once you hit the Mediterranean, you really start feeling the waves hit
Yeah,
your ship.
that makes sense. Mediterranean is known for being kind of.
As you start pushing through, your ship is still seaworthy. Like, again, although the Egyptians built for the Nile, they can last. As you find yourselves into the Mediterranean, after some time, you see a ship on the horizon that is headed your way.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it changed course to go this way. It's just that natural, a speck appears in that dot and grows larger.
Please be the party with the boat. That would be hilarious.
As
Oh,
the
no.
boat grows ever larger, you are seeing that it has very un-Egyptian like sails, what we would know as twin sails, very much in that, I guess we could call it a schooner, but schooner, twin sail.
Oh, no.
The sails are this kind of grayish burlap sack. As approaching, the ship raises a flag. And does anyone have any vexology proficiencies or flag history stuff?
Would I know any flag history stuff? Being in the military?
That could be that.
Actually, yeah, I'd say Nana, you'd probably be the one. So, Nana, if you want to make me a history check, I'd allow it.
That's a 9.
It's a 9. Nana, you've never seen this flag before in your life. In fact, is it a flag? No, I'm kidding. It's,
I make a history check?
yeah, I'd allow it.
Okay.
Bless you.
I don't have great history, but if I roll high enough and maybe guidance myself. Oh, yeah, this could be good. That's a 17.
A 17
there we
is
go.
pretty good. Tulio, this is a European flag. It's not Spain, but the name's alluding of like What country is this from?
Yeah, it's a. I know a scooter. I can narrow down that's some more European built.
This is a very European build.
Yeah.
What color is the flag?
Great.
The flag is a
Oh, sorry.
light
yeah,
blue
fingers, that's
color,
what we're for.
and as far as you can tell, I don't think anyone has a telescope, unfortunately. But it is a light blue flag which seems to have some sort of yellowish motif on it, like some sort of symbol on it.
Is it?
As you go through, you start realizing that, I will say as the ship grows larger and larger, what was light blue is like, okay, no, it does look like three different colors of blue in a bit of a line, in a top-down horizontal from a deep navy blue to a lighter blue to a very light, almost creamish blue, like very white blue.
Is this a legit country, like in
Looks like a
real
legit
life?
flag.
No, in real life.
Oh, maybe.
Fair enough.
I can't metagame that hard.
No, that's fine.
But the moniker that you're seeing is this golden crown that seems to be emblazoned upon it. As the ship passes by, it is slowing down.
I'm assuming we're not allowed to look at flags on Google.
Oh, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just
No, she's.
And this is
Oh,
why
she
then
is.
I will
I
tell you,
was.
this is why I made different flags for this world.
Yeah,
so that
it's
I
not
could
the
pull
same
this
at
stuff.
all.
It's one of those things you don't think
I
about.
wouldn't have
Yeah.
said anything, but I was
Yeah.
just like, is this a real flag?
It's not a real flag.
It was close enough to a couple different flags I can picture it, and I was like, which country is that? Which country is
He
that?
like kept it.
Well, the
I was
worst
just
part
looking
for
at the
me
flags
was
he
like
combined quite a
after
few.
he talked about seeing some yellow on it, and then he talked about like distinct like stripes of blue. For a second, the flag popped in my head was like Argentina, but I'm like that's definitely not European.
You see that
It looks a little bit like Greece.
a person at the helm of this ship is starting to call out wave down. Basic, no one knows flag code. He's going to wave you down. Anyone could wonder what it means, where you see a red and white flag is coming up, side, side, down. That's your best guess what he's doing.
Pass him and wave as we go by. Like, I don't really want to deal with another person.
Do we roll like insight to be like, what is he trying to convey with these flags?
Yeah, you can make it inside.
Honestly, the only thing I can think of is that he's just trying to flag us down. Oh wait, I didn't mean that as a pun.
But it was one!
Oh my
Puns,
god.
puns, puns, puns.
Wow, 17 on insight.
17.
Well, that's a nat
23.
20,
I got nothing.
I'll try.
23. Some good stuff, good stuff. 15. For most of you, on those like 15s higher, he looks to be waving you down. You don't know the flag code, but it looks like something about him is like he wants to talk. I mean, even as it's slowly getting closer, you can tell the expression is like trying to get your attention. 23. Tulio, as far as you've ever been on a ship and remembered, it is that like ships can stop. I mean, neither of your vessels is a merchant ship, so it's not like you have an excuse, so to speak, not to stop. And it looks like that natural, like, you're in the Mediterranean, like, I would like to know who you are, but you're also noticing it seems to be just like this dude on a ship. There's not like a huge crew on the deck bustling about. It's just this dude on his own little ship.
Should we be worried about this random dude flagging us down? Do we feel like
I'll let you be as worried as you want to be.
I'm a little worried,
I'm gonna take a nap.
but you did say we don't really have an excuse
Bob's
not to
looking
stop,
bad.
so it's that like they might chase us down if we don't.
So probably stop.
But just like everybody be cautious because it's not like
Ready
especially-
to react.
And this might just be paranoid Megan talking, but especially when you're like, yeah, we don't see in other people. I'm like, is it because they're all like
I
hiding
know,
somewhere?
Yeah,
Like,
no kid.
so I am worried, and we'll kind of give that like to the party. We could stop and just like be ready because they might like pull something, or we could just go and hope they don't chase us.
I would say stop and be ready for something.
Cool.
Because it could even just be, oh, they're patrolling the waters because we wandered into some other country's waters. So,
As you stop, slowing down, you notice the other ship as well. Your ship does not have an anchor. Fun fact.
No, that
Egyptians
makes
didn't
sense.
make anchors.
That's fair.
But this ship is, you can tell, splashing water. They are lowering an anchor to slow themselves down. As your ships get within reaching distance, this man is running along deck and throwing over ropes, like trying to throw them over, and he's like nodding to his side. It's a very, like, hey, let's tie ourselves down
More
so that
ourselves together, yeah.
if we're the ones anchored but we're moored together, then we're all good. Mooring through, Bob, you go to sleep. I'll take a nap. The man gets out of the ship. As you see, approaching, blonde-haired, very, pale man, definitely from a European country, kind of steps off of the boat. Hello, are you travelers here in the Mediterranean?
Yes. I am travelers, and we're in the Mediterranean.
That makes it sound like we're
Well, no, it's not sassy, like, looking at the ocean, like what else
duh.
would we be?
What are we?
No, like, yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Julia was just like,
I just, like, point to the ocean, like, yeah, we're in the
You
Mediterranean.
point at the ocean. Look, we here. This man. My name is Mail. I apologize for interruption, but you see, my crew happened upon a storm, and many of them were blown overboard. I've been trying to make port. Where is the nearest city?
don't we see one in the distance?
You pass one that has just now faded out of view, like some of those
Like
cities you
behind
could-
us?
Which direction is behind? Like,
I'm pointing.
Well, because I'm trying
it's
to
gonna get out of full compass. South by southwest, you mean?
Yes.
Say that next time. Kind of like.
Look
Start
with your
stretching.
eyes next time.
Who are you?
My name is Mail.
Male?
Mail.
Like,
Mail.
My name is
Man.
female, sorry.
I have a longer name. It's easier to call me Mail.
What is your name?
call me Ishmael.
No.
Sorry, that's a full Megan.
Listen, Ishmael wasn't white. Okay.
Okay, I have a
All
very
right,
long
we're
name
getting into
too.
this.
I'm Sashenka Bodana Vyacheslavovic. What is your full name?
You see, Melgorathian. It's.
You're having trouble with your own name.
It's
Have
not
you
in
been
common.
drinking the vodka?
It's not in common. I apologize.
Okay. So
Yeah, where are you from? Where were you headed before the storm?
Where did you come from? Where are you going?
Where did you go
come
from
from
Canada?
Well, you see, we were in and around the coast of Europe. The kingdom of Far, Far Away was supposed to be our heading, and I believe we got lost here in the Mediterranean.
you know who
All of
this
you
is,
watch.
far, far away.
Joshua
Isn't that
walks
from
forward,
Shrek.
Shrek, right?
takes a knife and plunges it into the dude's heart.
Oh!
As
That's
this
violent.
man's eyes turn black. Fucking prophets! Everyone roll initiative.
We got demons!
Joshua rolled a nat 20 insight behind the screen.
Gosh.
I got it. 20.
That's a
Dirty 20.
6.
I got a dirty 20. I
Dirty
finally rolled
20.
well.
Not 13.
Ooh,
Nice.
Bob, I will give you a choice then.
Sleep or not
Or
sleep?
or not sleep. To sleep or not to sleep. Here we go. Did anyone get a 20 or higher? Tulio?
Oh.
22.
Tulio with a 22.
Julio. 20.
20 for
Not
Nana.
now.
6 for Moses.
Excellent. Did anyone get 15 to 19?
Oh, not 13 was.
Yes. So 16, but not 13, of course.
Wait, don't you get like a?
Oh, do I have to roll a disadvantage?
You do actually, because initiative checks are still part of the checks. Ooh, that's right.
So that's 11.
Awesome. Any other 11 to 14s? And finally, any 10s or below, Elizabeth?
I'll roll for Hunk if that's okay.
Yeah.
Unless you want to roll for your wife. Do you know what her dex is?
I can tell you in just a second.
Well, that's a natural 15.
Hunk has a plus. Oh wow. Okay. Plus 1, so
16.
16.
That's pretty good.
Here we go.
so that's going to be
He's so
16. Here we go. Let's roll for the creature. I will let you know this creature does get advantage on its initiative because it was holding advantage to surprise you.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Josh was keeping you from a true surprise. So that is already, wow, 16.
I still think we should have just passed him by.
Honestly, there were so many different.
So that's going to be a
Potential
synth 20. Who has a? We need to roll off. Actually, you have the same dex as this creature. That was a 12.
Oh, sorry.
We're in initiative.
Well, that's a 13. Oh, crap.
You got like a 17.
Nana will go before
16.
16, we're 11.
the
Marissa,
creature known as
Marissa?
Maelgrath. Maelgrath is a Latin abyssal name. Here we go. Let's roll for Joshua. Wow. Joshua coming in strong with a 22 as well. But Julia, you have the better dex. Zipporah with a... Oh, a 6, just like Moses.
Couples that fight together. Not each other.
You gotta know what sounded. Couples that fight together. With.
With, like, not each other, yes.
And Malachi got a synth 9. As we begin.
Yeah.
Tulio, all of you watch, because again, Joshua didn't say a word, and it's more that, like, I would say, Moses, you slightly noticed Joshua's eyes narrowed the second this dude, like, kind of hopped the boat, all the ropes are tied, hopped in, and just walked over, pulling out a quick knife and plunging it. And the dude didn't blink. Maelgrath kind of stopped, his eyes just go black, and just says, fucking prophets, as we start the initiative. Tulio, what would you like to do?
How many points of contact do we have in terms of like how many ropes are tethering us to this vessel?
Here we go.
He's so cute.
I gotta
didn't mean for him to
pull
bite
up.
you.
There's no biting action. Mine's not my fault.
What are you doing, bud?
Here we go.
He loves to climb.
Tulio, will you roll me a d8 plus 4, please?
Come on, the one time I actually want to roll up. That's a total of 6.
Total of 6. There are 6 points of contact.
Okay, here is my plan. Can I get to a spot on our boat to get an angle so I can try and shoot an arrow through all of the ropes?
No, that's cool.
Go ahead.
Is Joshua currently on the boat with you?
No,
Well, the
everything
creature,
on
he
our
came onto
boat.
it. He hopped over in that, like, I hopped the railing and, like, walk over and be like, hi, my name's Maelgrath. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Tulio,
Jerry goes to
you're
do that because
rushing
I'm very
over.
concerned.
Go ahead. Give me an attack roll. I'll let you know. The AC of the ropes is 12. For every 2 above, you can get another rope.
Cool.
So if you were to get a 26 or a nat 12, you know that idea of you could hit them all, but everything above a 12 is another rope you'd be hitting with the same arrow. And then, of course, damages, can you do the damage thresholds to, like, start slicing through?
Yeah, is there anything I can, like, use my bonus action for to give me advantage on this or help in any way?
Probably not, as far as I can tell.
That takes an action.
Yeah. It's one of those things out of combat where it's like, it's nice to be like, oh, we'll take a guidance, and then...
Oh, okay.
Oh, hi.
19.
A 19, so that's going to be... That is going to be 4 of the ropes
Oh, yeah.
that you'll be able to hit. Go ahead and roll damage then.
Yes.
Okay, that's gonna be a 7. Can I, like, add sneak attack to this? Because they're, like... Okay, so
Because you would have to have allies by the ropes or other things.
Okay, 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. Each of the rope, all are starting to look pretty frayed. Like, it's one of those, like, oh yeah, like, if any of them get hit again, they'll probably snap. But they are still, quote unquote, tied for now.
There might be...
No, it's not big enough for a camp.
This boat is like this dude was sailing it, and like it wouldn't be big enough for your dog.
Somebody wanted to strike the boat.
Tulio, excellent turn as you rush over.
Here's my only other thing. I'm trying to remember the rules because that was like a ranged weapon. So can I yes or no if I wanted to do like an offhand attack? If there's like a rope that's closer to me, can I like slash it with a
Yeah,
dagger?
go ahead.
Or
Roll the
bonus
hit.
action?
Yep.
That was a really bad roll, so it might not hit. Yeah, that's a 7.
So it does not hit the armor.
I rolled a natural.
Tulio does that cool ducking cover, like rolls across the raft, takes out the short bow, cuts through again a bunch of these ropes, and then takes the dagger, just like trying to cut this rope. Because again, they're thick ropes. If these
Very
weren't,
dexterous, but
you
not
would
very
not be able to
strong.
sail. Joshua is going to take his attack. He is going to run up with his big old quarterstaff he uses, because again, he's basically a reskinned Moses right now. He's going to rage, take his attack. That is going to be a 14 to hit the creature. Takes his quarterstaff, whips it as hard as he can. Moses, you see the celestial light glowing, but on a 14, shatters against the creature's head.
Oh!
As this thing just kind of,
Oh lord.
14 does not
this
hit.
is annoying.
Well, and it broke his staff.
Yeah, not only, yeah.
Joshua's staff is now gone. That
That's
is
what happens
Nana's
when you
turn.
say you're the
How
prophet
big
when
is
you're not.
this demon? Like, his physical body?
Medium.
Medium? No, like, is he like 5'5" or is he 6'2"?
The exact dimensions of this is a 5'10" man with medium to larger size build. It's not like he works out, but not every week. Keeps himself in shape on the boat. Definitely spends his summers on the beach, winters in the city. Eats a pretty good meal.
I would like to take my shield, just kind of under his feet, and try to do an athletics check to eat him onto his own
No,
body.
this is a shove attack for sure. We're going to.
Do I get to add my athletics bonus to it?
So, I will let you know you just saved with a nat 20.
She could roll that 20.
I could.
So you're gonna have to roll a nat 20 first.
Okay.
You can add this.
Oh my god.
This is a nat 20. Here we go.
Nope. But I could roll heroic thing. So I've got a +7, so it becomes a 12, and I'm gonna add another 10 to it. Use my reaction to do that.
So what's the total?
So 22.
22
That's
does not
good.
meet the 25.
It was so close.
Because I was gonna say a
rolled
nat 20
5.
isn't an auto success. It's he has a 25. You take your shield, shove under, and this creature he kind of stops, places a foot, and it doesn't break your shield, but you see the crack lines appear as he kind of just pushes the shield onto the deck floor, keeping him from being shoved off.
Okay.
As you do that, Nana, he looks down. Pathetic. He's going to take an action on his turn
Oh,
now.
I hate shapeshifters.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm screwed.
Listen. It's nothing personal until you brought a prophet along. As you
Wait,
watch,
We
he
were doing our own thing.
takes his singular thumb and starts slowly slicing it across his own neck.
What?
And as the blood drips down, he takes it and you watch, he flings it off into the water.
Oh no.
No.
I just need your bodies. As dark fins
No,
arise
no.
around the Mediterranean, that's where we're going to end
No!
today's session.
Back to the break.
We will see you next time as this battle upon the Mediterranean
What
commences.
creature is this?
Thank
It's
you
a
all for
demon.
playing. Thank you all
Like
for
full
watching.
supernatural
I will see you
demon.
all next time.
And
Bye
he
bye.
can spawn from his blood?